as we proceed to bring you what you need. As we proceed to bring you what you need. Like I was saying before we got cut off. Anyway, so this based off what he's saying now. It ain't going nowhere against. It ain't creative. It based off what he's saying. So according to what he said Dr. Melikazi York made up the word Nubian. I showed y'all in real time that was a lie. How many surveys do we got to run for y'all to see how many times that man lie? That was a lie. RASHAD, cap. I like that headline. Let's see. RASHAD, cap. All right. So how many surveys do we got to run to see that this nigga just be lying his ass off for no reason? First of all, they don't understand language and how one word may have a 3-part root and it'll show up many different ways. They don't understand that. Let's give another example so that you'll see that. When somebody came on here talking to me, didn't even know what Hindu meant. And then after I described it, they're like, oh, yeah, you talking about, yeah. Like, you didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. So we're going to look at Hindu. Hindu. Right? So you say Hindu, to be or exist. Hindu. All right? What else we got? Let's see. We can get the boat rendition or a flying boat like the Vimanas. I don't know why he doing HOW. What are they doing? Yeah, Hindu Royal Solar Boat. Right? Or Solar Barku or Barg. Okay? So we have Hindu here. Now I'm going to type in a different word and see if we get the same thing. That's H and W. All right? 3 letters that are supposed to be representing this word. Let's go HENU. See that? Vision boat. Hindu Barg. Hindu. You see how they put it in parentheses? HNW. Okay. Yeah, we can go on for hours. You see this right here? You see how it says Hanu, Henu, right? Henenu. So there are multiple ways that this word is filled up with vowels. Keep it simple. But you do observe H, the N, and the W, which is that U right there. You have woo, wah, wah. All right? So H, N, and then the sound that it ultimately makes when you're finished with the phrase or the word. Henu. Hanu, Henu, Henenu. Okay? So H, N, W. Let's stay with it. Don't worry, you came to the right place. All right? So you got Henu, and I just showed you different variations of that word. There is the word Nubu. And there are multiple variations of the word. So when you're saying Nubian, for all of y'all who walk around and call yourself Nubians, he said, I'm not a Nubian. He said, first of all, he said, he's not a Nubian, he's an Anunnaki god. And then he said, the Nubians are Anunnaki gods, too, but Nubian is just a word that Dr. Melikazi York came up with for what they were doing at the time. All of that is bullshit. I'm going to show you how. So Nubian is already a word. Some of y'all call yourselves that. Let's look at Nubian. We see N and B. And again, you have Nebi or Nebu or Nubi. Okay? That gives you Nubian or Nubian. Because the word noob is there too. N-U-B or N-W-B. So that's what you get when you have Nubian also. Nubian is just a spread out Nubian word. You get what I'm saying? They don't know what they're talking about. Take that out. Bloop. What you get? Nubian. All right, let's take these vowels out. Bloop. Nubin or Nubin. And you still got noob right there. You understand that? So that's my point. He doesn't know what he's talking about linguistically. Let's keep listening. How do you feel about...
Well, I think a lot of people at the leadership conference said if you were upon the SCLC, does that mean that you were not still a God? No, that will be, Anunnaki God. Well, I think a lot of people have to understand the spiritual aspect of it. Dr. word Anunnaki is there, Anunnaki God.
Okay, somebody help make sense. He said, I'll never be a Nuwabi. He said, I've never been a Nuwabi, though I never will be. He said, I'm an Anunnaki God. He said, Dr. York and the people who follow him are Anunnaki gods also. So the Nuwapians are Anunnaki gods? But you're an Anunnaki god and you're not a Nuwapian? So when you're telling people they're Anunnaki gods, are you talking about the Nubians? Or are you talking about the Caucasians? Y'all see what I'm saying? They don't know what they're talking about. Y'all tell melanin dominant people that they're Anunnaki gods because RASHAD Jamal says y'all were Anunnaki gods. So which one is it? Are y'all Nubians, Anunnaki gods, Nuwapians? Who are y'all? Based off of him, y'all are Anunnaki gods, right? All of y'all are gods who came from Anu, or children of Anu, meaning your extraterrestrials who came into this planet. Okay, so then which one is he saying? He's an Anunnaki god and a Nuwapian, or Anunnaki god and not a Nuwapian, and the Nuwapians are also Anunnaki gods? This only makes sense to people who have lost their mind. This only makes sense to people who lost their mind. I'll have to ask him directly. He's speaking it right here. This, anyway.
But the Nuwapian is just a name he had came up with for what he had going on at the time.
Okay, we already saw that that's not true. I showed you Nubu in ancient Egypt. He doesn't understand the language. He doesn't know what he's talking about. They rarely do. Let's keep listening.
You know, different than Martin Luther King. They had the civil rights movement. You know, and King even had the SCLC, the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. And if you were a part of the SCLC, does that mean that you were not still a god? No, that's great.
First of all, the first thing this man said was, you have to understand it from a spiritual standpoint. He went from Dr. Malachi York and the Nuwapians into Martin Luther King and his movement. What about that is spiritual? You went from the ascension process and understanding things from a spiritual, and then went to make a comparison to Martin Luther King and his civil rights movement fighting for politics. You get what I'm explaining to you? Let's keep watching.
The physical name of a group that was being used to try to bring positive energy onto the planet at a specific time in this reality. So it's the same thing with Dr. York and Nuwapi. It's like that was the name of his group that he had of his school, of his students, right? Of his disciples, of his sellers. With him being the spiritual guru of that dojo or that ashram or that hermitage, right? So I respect Dr. York, but I've never said, oh, that's a Dr. York lecture. I've never said, because I wasn't around, you know, that's before my era. I never read a Dr. York book.
Boom. Is RASHAD Jamal a liar? Yes or no? He just said, I never sat and watched a Dr. York lecture. I've never read a Dr. York book. So how do you know what he teaches? You just sat there and talked about how he got Nuwapians and disciples and he's one of the 23 this and that. How do you know what he teaches? This man just said he's never, remember I told y'all that, but I can always pull receipts. He said he never heard Dr. York teach. He said he never heard or read a Dr. York book. This is him saying it. I got to ask him. He just said it on the phone with Arcades. How can he say he never read Dr. York book, never heard of Dr. York teaching, and then tell y'all, his students or his followers, that y'all were not advanced enough to get on Dr. York's level and get Dr. York information? How do you know what Dr. York teaches then? If you never read his books, it's all lies. It's all cap. Hey, Jai, Queen, whatever your name is, I'm going to give you one opportunity. You can either come up here and talk to me or you're banished forever. This is how we do it over here. You have to come up here and speak to me. You cannot comment bang. So which one is it going to be? You want to come up here and speak to me, or we'll see you never? Because while people are looking at your irrelevant comments, they're not paying attention. So I'm not allowing it. But you can come up here and we can get on a level together. It's going to be one of the two. And I'm always watching. All right. So, what is it? What I already rich. What do you want to come up here and talk about? All right. Come. Yeah, you come up here. What do you want to come up here and talk about?
I'm aware of Dr. York because I know Dr. York on a spiritual level. And he knows me on a spiritual level. Stay with me on a spiritual level. Right? Not this physical level because Dr. York isn't his real name. Dr. York is the name of his avatar in this lifetime. But this ain't his first lifetime here. He's been here many lifetimes. But I'm not at liberty to speak on his incarnation because this never put me in spirituality. Just like you guys.
I'm not at liberty to speak on his income. What is his real name? He said Dr. York isn't his name. What is his name? What is your name? And what do you mean you're not at liberty to speak on his incarnation? You just spoke on his incarnation. All right, if you're not RASHAD Jamal, then you have no relevance. I'll see you never. Yeah, you had an opportunity to be relevant. Bye. He just spoke on his incarnations. And then say he's not at liberty to speak. You don't know what you're talking about. And then you're also trying to make it seem like you've never read Dr. York books. And you've never heard his teaching. So what do you know about him? And how does that make sense? This is your brother who you know on a spiritual level, and you're not in tune with what he's doing while he's here? Does any of this make sense? Only to the ones only the laymen.
You've been here many lifetimes. Most of us have been here many lifetimes, but I can't come speak on your past lives because only you can speak on that, right? Whereas for myself, I've been here many lifetimes, but when I was before my incarceration, my temporary incarceration, I was only at liberty to speak about one incarnation, and that's the one I spoke of me being two times in my past life. So,
What?
when I say original incarnation, and that's the one I spoke of me being two times in my past life.
Who?
So, me being two times in my past, me being two times in my past, me being two times in my past life. So,
Did this nigga say Tupac? I can't make out what he's saying, so I'm about to move on from this point.
when I say original 23 scientists, I haven't put too much information about the original 23
Because you don't know about... All right, let me ask y'all a question. I come and tell y'all I'm one of the original 23 scientists, and I don't put no information about it out. You don't know what you're speaking on. You're lying. 23 Scientists is explained by Dr. Faise York right here in his book. Before these niggas ever even was old enough to touch the internet. He explained all of it and named everybody. We ain't heard this nigga say one of the names of the 23 elders yet. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you Pop speaking on it and everything. Watch.
I'm speaking about the original 24 that Elijah Muhammad spoke about. And in Islam, I'm literally speaking about the original 23 scientists. I know the difference between the number 23 and 24 for those out there that smoothed out. You feel me?
No, you don't. Because you don't understand that Dr. Faise York was teaching it in alignment with Revelation. I got the book right here. Where do I need to go? Let's go. Revelation chapter 4, verse 4. It aligned with Revelation. Y'all trying to steal the information or run off with the information, not even understand why it was being taught and what school it was for. Y'all copying him and end up copying the Bible and don't even know why it was being taught. So, I got receipts. Let's play. Revelation chapter 4, verse 4. It says what? See if I can get a zoom on that. It says, y'all might not be able to see it, but it says, and round about the throne were 24 seats. I don't hear you talking about the seats because you're regurgitating. 4 and 20 seats. And upon the seats I saw 24 elders sitting, clothed in white raiment, and they had on their heads crowns of gold. And this is Revelation 4:5. And out of the throne proceeded lightnings and thunderings and voices. And there were 7 lamps of fire burning. Okay, so let's go Revelation. That's Revelation 4, verse 4. Let's go Revelation 5:1. And see, we learn more about these seating arrangements. Because you don't know what he's talking about. And I saw in the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book written and on the backside sealed with 7 seals. And I saw a strong angel proclaiming with a loud voice, who is worthy to open the book? Let's go further. One of the elders said unto me, weep not, behold the Lion of the tribe of Judah. Let's go further. And I beheld, and lo, in the midst of the throne and of the 4 beasts, and in the midst of the elders stood a lamb as if it had been slain, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of God sent forth into all the earth. And when he had taken the book, we see the 4 elders again. They sang a new song. All right. I'm seeing seating here. You're not talking about the seats because you think we're just speaking about people. You don't know what you're speaking on, do you? That's what happens when you try to run off with somebody's shit and make it as if it's yours. All right, watch. So he's trying to be clever. So I know the difference between 23 and 24. Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad didn't come up with the 24 elders. That's biblical. Malachi York didn't come up with the 24 elders. That's biblical. That's Abrahamic. So you telling me the Bible that's supposed to be so far back and you supposed to be so beyond it, the Bible talking about what you talking about? We can find everything you're saying in the Bible and you got the right knowledge? Okay, we'll see.
So I'm literally saying that there's a group of scientists that are responsible for the creation of the cosmos, that are responsible for whatever the architects, and it was 22 of them. And then people go listen to my last stuff spoken about the rock, but I never went into too much detail. But I have taken Zeus, aka Satan, which they head scientists of these original 23 scientists. That's why he's so intelligent, so smart. That's why he felt so in his ego to try to cause division, because he felt like he should be learning everything. So a lot of people that say scientists of these original 23 scientists, that's why he's so intelligent. There was 22 of them. And then people go listen to my last stuff spoken about the rock, but I never went into too much detail. But I have taken Zeus, aka Satan, which they head scientists of these.
This nigga said Zeus was one of the 23 scientists. So Greek mythology. Dr. York was a part of the Nation of Islam at one point in time? If you do your research? Do y'all understand what I'm saying? The Nation of Islam had an issue with Dr. Malachi York from the beginning. Dr. Malachi York always paid homage to and respect to the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. But the Nation of Islam didn't want to walk with Dr. Malachi York. So tell me when he became a part of the NOI. He wasn't one of the little people running around. He and Farrakhan were having the neck-to-neck conversation. He wasn't down there with them. The people had to learn Honorable Elijah Muhammad's signature and all of them and stand on their post. What? What? Bro, where the Ansars at? Where y'all at? Y'all hear this? He deflect from the fact that he stole or took Pop's information and ran off with it by saying, if that's the case, Dr. York stole from Clarence. He stole from Clarence? No, young man. Dr. Malachi York wrote books that were problem solver books to their problems. Dr. Malachi York fixed and gave them the real Circle 7 Quran. Explained it for them. Dr. Malachi York broke down all the lessons in the Supreme Mathematics for what it really should be. Dr. Malachi York did not have a friend in the 5%ers either, because he was correcting their information and they didn't like that. So where is he sitting there up under Class 13X? When did he have the time? So Dr. Malachi York was also a student of Bilal Phillips and all the other people who had issues with him? No, he didn't study up under these people. He studied the books that they said they studied and corrected the information. When did y'all see Pops in the NOI suit? Anybody? When was Pops making his quota with the NOI? When was Pop walking up and said, bean pie, bean pie? When did you see that, y'all? What is this man talking about? Yet this man is saying all this about a man he never heard a lecture from and never read a book from. So where are you getting this he was a part of the NOI shit from then? The newspaper? Please make it make sense. He showed up, Imam Isa. Yo, Pop, what's happening? What is wrong with these? What fools these mortals be? Imam Isa. Now, again, Imam Isa know your language. Imam Isa, what you got to say about this?
Kasra, to say by way of something. Ana aktub, I write bil kalam, with the pen, using this pen. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose this for the tasmiyah, Bismillah, he was trying to say by way of the name Allah, do you understand his attributes? Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Al-Malik, Al-Qudus, Al-Salam, Al-Mu'minu, Al-Muhammad, etc., etc. What happens to us here in America is you're being exposed to people who are translators from word to word. They're not translators for meaning. They don't know the essence of the Arabic language. So they say Allah means God, Rahman means merciful, Rahim means compassionate. And they go on. They say Bab means door. They say hijab means veil, etc., etc., etc. And this is not true. These are not translations by meaning. These are word comparisons. They start to compare words. Allah is alone. No partners has He. Allah wahdahu la sharika lahu. You follow what I'm saying? No partners has He. In Surah Al-Ikhlas of the Quran, Allah has given us a very serious lesson when He says, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Qul. He's talking to somebody here. When the Meccans tried, he called it a lot. Out there, we have important teachers from Sudan, from Saudi Arabia. We got teachers from all over the world teaching children Arabic every day. We have Arabic classes for the adults in the mosque. That's what you got to find.
I know where to go. You don't hear this man speaking fluent Arabic? Have y'all ever heard RASHAD JAMAL do anything like that? Let's stop playing, please. Because listen, if you ever bump your head and think you're on this man level, just go listen to his teachings. These are the most dynamic teachings ever. Ever. If you ever bump your head and think, I am on his level, I got the works like he do, just go listen to him talk. All that shit go out the window. What the hell? The 19 classes? Let's see what this is. When was Dr. Melakazior sent up under NOI?
In her Quran came down on the night of power, the night that it could come down, Laylatul Qadri. And it came down with the Malaika, wa ruhu. You understand? Muhammad is not Malaik, and he is not a ruhu. He was a rajul, a man. He said in the Quran, I'm just a man. So they leave their people numb. You follow that? And this is one of your biggest problems. Trying to converse with one of these numb people about a simple thing like Mogen Devad or the Star of David. Forget the crescent is there. And just look at the star for a minute. Without the crescent, you still come down to an Islamic symbol. If Muslims are saying that Nabi Dawood was just that, a prophet of Allah or an apostle of Allah, and his name is mentioned in the Quran, and that he followed Islam, the religion of Abraham, Millah Ibrahim al-Islam, right? So that would still be an Islamic symbol. But there's nowhere in history where you find a 5-pointed star written in any scriptures or law pertaining to Islam, Judaism, anything. But you will find that the Jew, the J-E-W, from the Caucasus Mountains, and the pale ones that mix their seed here in Israel, those devils, you'll find that they had a 5-pointed star as their symbol before, called the Seal of Solomon, and was used in witchcraft to keep Kanas down. And it's still being used today in governments and in witchcraft, the pentagram.
Jewish Encyclopedia.
To Allah, I was here today. It'd be real.
Ain't no Nubia.
Some of us are still over here in America, which is called America today, the land of the eagle. You follow that? So we know who we are. We know that we was created supreme. Put on your coat of armor. Just put on the armor of Allah and be ready. That's what we did. We know who we are. We know we're the people that got to teach everybody on the planet.
Come on.
But what I found out is we got to get together first and teach ourselves. We got to get back into ourselves. We ran out there and we're not prepared. Right?
Come on.
We got to get ourselves organized and set these classes up right and get this message across to everybody, so everybody here is teaching the same message wherever they are. And when you come in, is you got to stop trying to have your own sunnah of what I teach. Mm-hmm. Add in a little flavor when you can't answer a question. You can't answer a question, say, I can't answer the question.
Exactly.
I'll get the question though, because I'm going up there Saturday. And I'll see the man and I'll ask. And if I can't get the question this week, I'll have it next week. But I'll get it for you. You follow? But don't get up there and try to answer questions you don't know how. And then you mislead people.
Exactly.
You misguide them. And all those words, Huda, Mahdi, falls to dust, to naught. You understand what I'm saying? But we ask the Sunni world, show us which one of these guys is following the one man, Muhammad. Who did he dress like? Did he dress like you, Mr. Moroccan? You, Mr. Turkish? You, Mr. Egyptian? You, Mr. what? Persian? Mr. Iran? You, did I leave anybody out? Saudi Arabian? You, Mr. Pakistani? You, Mr. Sudanese? Which one of these men did he dress like? Or did he change into each person's culture that didn't even exist in his time? Then, before his time, I mean, he was a prophet, he could have did that. He could dress like Moroccan before they developed their dress. But he didn't. Because you don't have none of that written in your hadith. You describe the way he dressed, and then you don't dress that way. We are Hebrews. We follow Abraham's religion. Get that through your head. We're only Muslim by the definition of a person aspiring to be peaceful. We are not Muslims in the sense of following Muhammad. There was a picture here last week of a Kaaba. And I said, you got an idol on the wall inside the masjid in Manzilallah. There's a Kaaba on the wall. That's an idol. Because there's a stone in the building that people go to kiss and lean on and grovel at and cry on. You follow? And it doesn't say that in the Quran. It don't say for us to go to Mecca and lay on the black stone and slob and kiss and cry and it doesn't tell us to do that there. It tells us that was a sacred seat or site. Right? But how many, as you read in 360, how many Kaabas are there really? Will the real Kaaba stand up? And I would tend to think that if you are basing it on Abraham, and Abraham is buried in Iraq, in Syria, in a place called Khalil, there's a mosque there, and that's where your Kaaba should be, really. Really. Because that's where Abraham stopped. And that's what he did, that's where he stopped.
Come on.
You follow? Holiday for the sacrifice, they were talking about Isaac. It probably started with people burning their head and getting scarred. You see? El Quran was sunnatuhu, and his path or his way of doing things. Right? But it's in a single sunnah.
I thought there was one called What About the Lessons? What
Now,
about
which, you know, like they did in the program, will the real follower of Muhammad Sunnah please stand up? You follow? Because as a Moroccan is standing here totally differently dressed from a Turkish, who's totally different dressed from a Pakistani, who's totally different dressed from a Sudanese, who's totally differently dressed from an Egyptian, who's totally different dressed from an Iranian, and now you got Chinese Muslims dressing the way they dress. And then you got the Nation of Islam. I mean, now which one of y'all do we follow?
I just got paid $60,000 for my car crash.
So it's called What About the Lessons, Farrakhan? What, any Ansar in here? Any Ansar Nuwapi in here?
Dr. Malachi D. York, the most profound, all my brothers and sisters.
Those who were there, no disrespect, newcomers, people who just found out about certain things. Anybody who was there, Round Pops, that's in here right now?
On this planet, I come to you. What's the first question? Yes, about our policy. Where do you fit in the system of things? And that's where you have to be careful when you do not allow them to log you. They want to log you and categorize you.
Exactly. They want to log you and categorize you. Listen.
Are you Muslims? Are you Christians? Or New Age?
Are you Muslim? Are you Christian? Are you New Age?
Every time somebody calls you New Age, say, is there such thing as an old age?
Every time somebody calls you New Age, say, is there such thing as an old age?
If there's an old age, then it's definitely religion. If there's a new age, that means we're living in a day and time with a new age, a new era of time. Everybody who's living today is in a new age.
He said everybody who's living today is New Age.
And let's say 100 years from now, if it exists, right? This would be and that would be so just, put that crap back in your vest pocket. What they need is these titles by which to label you, so whenever they're talking to a person, they can say, oh, well, they're just a New Age group.
Exactly. They need these titles to try to label you, so whenever they're talking to somebody, they can say, oh, they're just a New Age group.
And then people come up with a definition of New Age group in their mind, they come to television, they go, oh, and they stop listening to you.
Exactly.
That's the game, not to fall into that. That's why when you start saying...
Didn't I just talk to y'all about that? I don't have no, listen, what's the name of what I'm doing? You can't say I came with, oh, this, with that. No. I don't have that. Because I told y'all that the moment they try to box you, they tried to box me as a Mason until I took the Masonic hat and stomped on it. They're going to try to box me as a Rosicrucian. They're going to try to box me as a Moor. They're going to try to box me as a Christian. They're going to try to box me as a Muslim. They're going to try to box me as a Hindu. Why do they need to do that? Because the moment they do that, they trap you. Which is why we were taught, don't do that. Always be able to move around as a traveler. Listen.
Fraternity and sorority, you throw them off. We say, no, we're not a religion. But you can have a religion and be inside our fraternity. If you are a Christian and you want to join our fraternity, it's fine with us. If you are a Jew, it's fine with us. And you say, well, you don't have a religion? Oh, personally, yes. My religion is Millah Ibrahim. That's my religion. Okay, you satisfied? Now that's that now. Now let's go back to right knowledge. Right knowledge is not a religion.
Right knowledge is not a religion. He just said it.
I acknowledge that Abraham is responsible for all of us here and what we believe. You got that? Now, let's go back to how to analyze what all of us here have and believe. And that was a new system introduced to us. Not what we were given, because they give you a scripture and then they give you enough intelligence to analyze or scrutinize the scripture if you have enough sense. So we're given the truth, whether it's called the Bible, the Quran, whatever you want to call it, and then at the latter part, it comes time for the student to what? To analyze. You got to analyze. You know, in order for you to get this document, you got to sit down and analyze everything you learned from school.
Yep.
You got to sit down and be questioned and explain yourself. And you go before a board of professors, they'll make you get up and they'll say, explain Shakespeare. And you got to get up. You can't come here and say, now, Shakespeare, well, they want you to get up and orate all your years of learning. What is trigonometry? And they put you through this quiz thing to find out if you were actually facilitating all the information that you obtained while you was incarcerated in school.
Exactly.
That's what they want to know. If you got that, they say, all right, when you go out there and make people sick with the document. But that's the same thing with anything that anyone studies under the sun. Time to analyze everything that you've been studying. Throw away the stuff you won't need.
So then, RASHAD Jamal students, when I ask y'all to do that, why do y'all crumble? Or why do y'all sidetrack? Come up here and I say, okay, based off of what RASHAD Jamal teaches, right? And we talk about what he teaches, and I say, okay, well, explain what he taught. And y'all get to telling me how much y'all can't explain what he taught. So something is wrong. Right? Okay, Hoodie Hood, you got one opportunity. I'm Cap, come up here and talk to me. And explain how. See the difference? He just said it. That when you go through, you got to be able to exemplify. Or you decline. Well, you're in block for life. See you later. We'll see you never. Block for life. Hey, man. Ain't nothing to play with. Oh, not you, bro. Too late. If I can remember, then I'm like, should came up here and said it. So I give them the opportunity to represent or present what the teachers are about, and they fall short. Why? Well, for one, y'all have been mistaking being entertained with being taught. Y'all have been mistaking being fans of RASHAD Jamal with being students of what he teaches. You're not students of what he teaches because you don't know what he teaches. You know what he said, but you haven't studied it. And I give them an opportunity. I say, come up here and teach me. Based on this, telepathy with dolphins? All right, how does that work? Pineal gland is not suffice. That doesn't suffice as an answer. How does it work? What parts of the brain activate for it to happen? How do you strengthen it? Okay, what do you teach you? That white people have melanin and melanin dominant people don't have melanin, but we also have neuromelanin. You know that's the type of melanin, right? This isn't looking too good. This isn't looking too good. You know what I mean? DNA, DEA. DEA, he taught it. Whole lectures on it. Okay, what is DEA? No matter what it is they said, none of it made sense. Scientifically, I showed them that. So then, okay, you were being entertained and you didn't know it. You were enjoying the entertainment of RASHAD Jamal. You were not learning to ascend. Even when he say he had to teach, raise the frequency and teach it, remind people who they are. How you gonna remind people who they are if you don't even know who you are? And what do you mean reminding people who they are? Who are they? Is everybody individually the same person? Is everybody the good people? Is everybody the bad people? Who are they? Some of they're Anunnaki gods. Okay, then they should be studying Sumerian doctrine. If they're Anunnaki gods, then why do you have them all in Hindu and African spirituality and Buddhism and over here in conspiracy theories with David Icke and them? And why are they all over? If they're just Anunnaki gods, then they should be studying the Sumerian stories to find out where they land in that, and they should be praying to whoever their Sumerian guys would be. And if it is themselves and their Anunnaki guys all themselves, then where's their technology? Because the Anunnaki gods had technology. Where's their biological advancement? Because the Anunnaki gods were more supreme than the human beings that were up under them. They had what's called divine genetics. So where are the divine genetics of those people? You understand what I'm saying to you? If you're just Anunnaki gods, then you shouldn't be studying any of this other stuff that has nothing to do with who you are. So what do you mean? If you came people to remind people of who they are not some people descendants of ancient Egyptians? Are not some people descendants of Mongoloids? Are not some people descendants of the Mayans and the Aztecs or the Incas? Are not some people descendants of the Olmecs? Are not some people descendants? What do you mean you came to tell people who they are? Notice that he said, oh, I never got a chance to explain what the 23 elders are. I ain't really put too much information out. That's what you lead with. Why didn't you put no information? Dr. Melakazi York did. You led with, you were one of the original 23 scientists. Can anybody in here, listen, $100 right now, I promise. Anybody in here, based off of RASHAD Jamal's teachings, what are the names of the 23 elders? What are their names? What are they? Which one is he? What's his name? What are their names? And I'll race you. I'll go look through my pictures to see if I can find where Dr. Melakazi York cited it. And you look for yours. You still looking? I'm looking at it. You know, I think I'll be able to do one better if it takes too long. One of the brothers, all right, and you can comment who you will be so they don't got everybody doing the same thing. One of the brothers, will y'all go and get the image out of one of our chats where you have the 23 elders listed? It's in the lighthouse for sure. You should be able to find it. 23 elders are listed as one of the pages out of the Holy Tablets, lists them specifically and goes into detail about their names and everything. So I'm looking for it, but one of y'all brothers, if y'all find it, you could email it to Faise One Productions 9. But I'm gonna look for it because we got time. Shouldn't be hard. I got it somewhere here. The Simpsons. Be there. That's what you had just sent me because I can't access it if you just sent that to me. I can't be on here and pull it up if you sent it to me. If you did just send that, can you send that to my email? That'd be fire if you did that. Let me see if I can. It's in here somewhere. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna keep checking my email too. One of y'all brothers, we can get that real quick. We're gonna figure this out. We're gonna get it together. We're gonna see if Dr. Melakazi York talk. Up. Hold on. Hold on. I'm gonna screenshot this. All right, hold on. Okay. I'm gonna just do the whole page. Cause that's 160. All right, boom. There we go. Found it. Thank you. Appreciate love everybody who attempted to help me just then. I found it. All right. So all right. Here we go. Yeah, I didn't. Okay, I don't see any of the Rashad students listing it, so I'm gonna keep my 100. All right. So right here in the Holy Tablets, clearly, chapter 7. All right. El Hayu Rawu, which is the living soul. Okay. Let's read the whole thing, because why not? angelic being of death, son of Anu and Id. This is Sumerian. So all you Anunnaki guys, why the fuck would Rashad Jamal not have y'all reading the Holy Tablets? If a lot of the Sumerian doctrine is explained thoroughly, and does he not know that the Anunnaki word is a Sumerian word or an Akkadian word? Is he clueless about that? So all of this is in the Holy Tablets. Dr. Melikazi York learned this from the NOI. NOI members, brothers of the Lost Found. Does this look familiar? The fuck? What is this nigga talking about? Supreme mathematics followers and teachers, students of the lessons, the 120 degrees, all of y'all. All right, the brothers, the nation of gods and earths. Does this look familiar? Is this in the Circle 7 Quran? He learned this from Clarence 13X. Rashad Jamal said Dr. Melikazi York took his information from the NOI and the 5%ers. Does this look familiar? Any of y'all who traveled as 5%ers, any of y'all who traveled as NOI? What is this man talking about? He's a liar. All right, let's get it. The plane of divine truth. Oh, hold on, let's read the whole thing. Angelic being of depth, son of Anu and Ed, built on the atoms of the physical plane. It manifests as a mortal body and spirit, giving birth to a living soul. The body, the spirit, the living soul is the successor of the earthly plane. A son of the Anunnaki. You see right there? Kadman. You were born of the will of Anu El Elo, a living soul. The mental sparks all connected through the spiritual umbilical cord, the etheric cord, the planes. The plane of divine truth is of spiritual perfection, entertainment. I just said the word to entertainment. A plane exempt from all carnal desires. Spiritual, supreme spiritual bliss. It is the level of consciousness which is the daily expression of those you call the ranks of angelic beings. Let's look at it. Kohangs, Zoduk priest, the 23 elders. There it is in Dr. Melikazi York's book, The Holy Tablets. You want to know what he did when he spoke about the 23 elders? Just in case you don't know, I'm going to spoil it. He listed them by name. Can anybody show me where Rashad Jamal did that? Can anybody explain to me why it might be forbidden that Rashad Jamal does such a thing? Can anybody explain to me which one makes more sense to listen to? The person who says 23 elders and that they're one of them and fails to present information about it? Or the one who positions himself as that axis central seater and explains all about it? You make it make sense to me. Everybody that's trying to be a teacher out here, learn from Dr. Melikazi York. They don't want to tell y'all that because when you go and look at it, you'll see where these niggas got that shit from. There go the names right there. Akatra El, Anafi El, Uzbuga, Baryu El, Kimu El, Chayi El, Galgaliel, like Gilgamesh, Galgaliel, Hani El, Yufi El, Yuhu El, Metatron, all right, where you get Metatron or Metatron, Ragu El, all right, Khadisin, Laduri El, Razu El, Ripi El, Mahaye, Shamu El, Yelen, Suri El, Yafafia, Zagzagud, Sandalfun. All right, there go the names of the 23. Let's keep reading. The 24th seat is open to all the news bearers, and the 25th is the one of the 24 who takes the seat of overseer. This is a lot more explaining. Let's listen to it. Let's see what else Rashad Jamal got to say for himself when it comes to this, if he can. 5% came later. After Elijah Muhammad. What he's not understanding is all of these people that he's chronicling were a part of the movement prior. It defeats your whole statement of you never heard of Dr. Malachi York teaching. You never read a Dr. Malachi York book. Why are you listing the chronicling then? Of people who were supposed to have been a part of movements before them that came out either teaching the same thing or forming organizations or groups or movements that came from the teachings of their predecessors. What is this man talking about? Because your whole statement is you never heard from Dr. Malachi York. You don't even know nothing about him, but you seem to know so much about him and you never heard him. Somebody help me. Does this make sense? Yes or no? That I would say I've never heard of Dr. Malachi York teaching. I've never heard a Dr. Malachi York lecture. I've never read a Dr. Malachi York book. And then in the same breath, I'm trying to tell y'all who Dr. Malachi York is and that I know him spiritually. And then I say Dr. Malachi York got his information from NOI and Clarence 13X, but I don't know what Dr. Malachi York information is. I never even read his books. So what the fuck am I talking about if I don't even know what he teaches? Because I never read his books. You see how they do just like this hurricane right here. They get to trumping over their own words and caught in a spiral. You said you never heard of his stuff. So what are you saying? Then you're going to say who we got his information from? What information? The information you never heard? You guessing? All right, watch. But what information? This still don't make sense to me. You said you never heard this information. So what information? How do you know his information is metaphysical if you never heard it? And what are they going to look for? He said the same thing with RASHAD JAMAL. Where are your books? He said the same thing with RASHAD JAMAL. Where's the land that you built that was part of prophecies? He said the same thing with RASHAD JAMAL. What Native Americans did you sit with and they literally announce and agree with your status as one of the Eagles? He said the same thing with RASHAD JAMAL. How many languages do you speak? You barely speak English. What do you mean the same thing with RASHAD JAMAL? This doesn't make sense to me. Y'all are saying everybody here doing what Dr. Malachi York is doing, but then I say, show me that you did anything near what he's done. Show me. And they can't show me. So no, it's not the same. And no, it's not the same. This is one of his books. That right there is one of his books. It ain't even how it look. That's just a printed out version. That's one. He got books that look like that. Literally. He got books that's that thick. Translations. He got science books. He got health books. He got physics books. He got social history books, world history books, sociology books. He got books based on individual characters out of the books that people trying to figure out what do you mean go look into his metaphysical information and what metaphysical information? In this book, he says become quantum physicists, not metaphysicists. But then you said you don't know what his information is. So what are you, is that responsible? Let's answer another question. Is it responsible for a man who has never read somebody's works and never heard their teachings to tell people to go study their metaphysical teachings and get their information from them? You didn't even go and check it out to see whether or not it was valid. You didn't test the spirit with the spirit yourself, according to what you. I know he lying. I'm just saying this how much it don't make sense. I know this motherfucker lying. Everybody studied Dr. Melakazi York stuff. Even they lingo come from him. What they think they know about subjects they got from him. That's not the problem. The issue is trying to teach it watered down and also lying and saying you don't know his information. But we got screenshots of you posting his books on your story. You're a fucking liar. Can anybody send that to me? Email me that? Or do I got to go and look for that too? We got screenshots of you literally posting Dr. Melakazi York books that you never read. That's responsible. But these people were saying you put them on to the book. But now you never read it because you're on a frying seat about whether or not you are who you say you are. It don't make sense to me.
Same thing with you. The same thing with every other individual out there trying to and so is going to bring information to this planet and genuinely very helpful people who are in the spiritual war. So people should be trying to put us against each other. Two people that fall for people, when it's not like people and go for a flame with the same outrageous allegations of child molestation. Let's not forget that the open flame with child molestation was over 200 counts on given 135 years because he woke up to play. RASHAD JAMAL was framed again.
Now watch, you see how he said that right there? On his story, what he say? He pled guilty. Dr. York pled guilty. You don't know where you're standing, do you? You just said he was framed right there. And then you went around and say he pled guilty as if that made him guilty. So please explain to me how that matches. And then also, no, y'all are not charged with the same thing. He is not charged with child molestation. He's charged with transporting minors across state lines with the intent to commit illicit acts. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. That's not child molestation. Secondly, he's charged with structuring money. Thirdly, he's charged with the man at Enrico, racketeering. They came and seized everything based off of fallacy, lies. And they knew it, but they didn't give a damn because they wanted his land anyway. What did you have that they needed from you? What did you have that the government needed to come and take you? What were you doing that the government needed to stop? You got to show me. And the government didn't come for you. Your baby's mother made a report. Shells made a report and said she didn't report none of the other shit that was going on that her daughters and them witnessed with your abuse, according to what she says. That she never got them folks on you about any of that stuff. She said she drew the line at her one child. How are y'all charged with the same thing? I don't understand what you're talking about. I don't get what you're talking about. So Shells got on here with me and talked to me. And she said, if you want to, you can talk to my daughters. I never spoke to her daughters, but we could talk to them. And you want to know what the main thing I would talk to them about? Not even the allegation part. The abuse part that she was speaking of, getting guns put to her head, all kind of stuff. And her daughter having to fight him off and all that. And then you have aggressive behavior documented on camera towards elder women. Because you got a disagreement with somebody at a Publix, you all yelling in a woman's face, calling her a bitch and everything. She got to be a bitch. She got to be a house Negro, all of that. And that's one of the elder melanin dominant women. And she stood there and dealt with that disrespect. And you thought that was a great thing? and your followers think abuse is okay. That's a great thing. You don't see Dr. Malachi York nowhere doing that. We weren't even raised like that. We don't know where y'all coming from. That don't make you no warrior. That don't make you no none of that. You ain't do none of that with the police. You laid down and went into captivity. When it comes to the people, the women specifically, they got to be bitches. You disrespected them. You attacked and abused them. But when it comes to the ones that you say you was here to fight against, you bowed down. That ain't no warrior. You said you were going to shoot it out with them. You didn't. Dr. Malachi York said we're not becoming anti-government for you. We're not trying to shoot up this for you. We're not doing none of that. He didn't say that. But you were telling people to go out and shoot with the police. But when it comes to that beef that you said you were here to fight with, literally, physically, and Revolutionary said people weren't serious about the revolution, you lay down. What's this illusion that people are associating themselves with? Y'all hear what I'm saying to you? So yeah, we saw that already. Dr. Malachi York and RASHAD Jamal are nowhere near the same category, caliber, any of that. What is he talking about? He done bumped his head. He has become insane, forgetful. He has lost his mind. Y'all remember the teaching I did? I said, y'all lost y'all damn mind. Let me cue that up. Well, you done? What we got? What else we got?
For instance, you probably will not need the blocks you used to play with in kindergarten. Right now, you have no need to sit in the middle of your living floor and put together a rector set. However, if you became an engineer, contractor, and you was erecting buildings, you might have to make reference all the way back to your childhood when you was, to know where shapes go. Now, when you go into this, one of the laws found, Elijah Muhammad. Look me in. Who is doing the talking? In this sentence or answer, we see the place of prerogative as our prophet W.D. Paul. A new person here. That D now is Douglas or Dodge. The British name, right? Okay. And then someone says, after that, these lessons were interpreted by one of the Lord's found. If the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was making that statement, he would be saying, and the lessons were interpreted by myself, Elijah Muhammad, or they call him Mr. Elijah Muhammad. But if I say, this is the Lord, and this is Elijah Muhammad, then there is there's a third part. The question popped up about the mother plane, or the mothership. They say back in 1914, yes, Muhammad is not a messenger. And as a Muslim and so I would say, Honorable Elijah Muhammad is not a messenger. According to the teachings of Islam as taught out of Arabia, you follow? Muhammad, Elijah is not a messenger. But can, is the question, can the Honorable Elijah Muhammad be a messenger of Allah according to the Quran? Yes, he can. According to the Arabic of the Quran, yes, he can. Because the Quran never says that Mustafa Muhammad Alameen, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, was the seal of your prophet. Never does it say the seal of Rasulullah. It says Muhammad is not the father of any of you men. He is Rasulullah, apostle of Allah, and Khatim, and seal of the prophets. It never said he was the seal of the message.
All right. Anybody who want to go and listen to that, where he speak about Honorable Elijah Muhammad, NOI, all of that? I don't understand how he's associated with the chronicling of Clarence 13X and Elijah Muhammad as he's their students. I don't understand that. Now, he had to learn a lot of the things that they had to learn in order to be able to explain the truth about it. But he wasn't up under nobody. I don't understand that. Especially when people didn't even want to allow for those teachings to come through. It made more enemies than friends when he was putting out the truths. Okay? And he put out a lot of truths. So you're going to have to explain that. Well, anybody want to go like this? What about the lessons, Farrakhan? Dr. Malachi York. All right. So let's go. You cannot. I think it's interesting that I can go to my teachers. I used to go up. It's just interesting. You cannot die. No, it's not. You cannot die, but you can't. But it was. Y'all have lost your mind. Something like that. Y'all have lost. I think it was your damn mind. Your damn mind. Cause I wanted just like wave I was talking about. I know, but I was talking about all the motherfuckers. Y'all lost your mind. I'm here to bear witness. What is that? Faise One Live. You have lost your mind. Let's see, Faise One Live. Lost your mind. Lost your mind. It shouldn't be that hard to find this. There you go. Y'all have lost y'all damn mind. This is in what is that? March 9th, 2024. Okay.
So they had an issue with it. They were mad because the women were asking questions. You know what I mean? Here's what I really feel in my heart. I feel if there were no women, all right, at the woke back encounter, and there were no women at the what do you call it, the Save This Day for Pop's birthday or the Z Fest, okay, celebration that Lightweight or Manessa bought the or rented the Airbnb for. If there were no women there, I feel like there would have never been an issue. You know what I mean? Because they try to make it seem like I was upset about female, but then they couldn't say truthful and say I'm supposed to say, yo, I was trying to fuck with her. I'm like, yeah, I didn't even know that. I'm also, you upset with me because of that. You upset with me because of that. You know what I mean? That's not a little strange, don't it? But then, that's why I tell you, go look at the shit and like where be like, Amos, when he trying to talk to her, you're going to see Amos freeze. Because listen, the spirit of truth will get on a nigga.
Quick.
He froze because he knew that wasn't true. He told me the truth. I'm telling you what he told me. He got to the point, he apologized. He like, listen, I'm going to keep it stacked. Because I was trying to talk to her. I didn't know none of that. The whole time. So they were having an issue. So here's what I feel. If there were no women, then they would have never felt like when we were having conversations that they had to compete with me. You know what I'm saying? They thought they had to compete. And all I'm doing is answering questions. The conversations were starting with people asking something and people answering. So a lot of the questions, literally, that people were asking, they didn't know the answers to. So it was quiet moments. Then I would step in. And then that's when you think, oh, he's taking over the conversation. If y'all are not being able, y'all can't teach. Y'all don't know this stuff.
Come on.
And you don't have 30 minutes to go off to the side and prepare a 1-minute video for it.
Exactly.
So you can't Google it real quick, piece some shit together, take some article clippings, point to the picture, do like this, and just, you know what I mean? Everybody they keep covering up the screen, then they do it again. Every time you do it, they say, I don't know what else to say. Every time you do it, they say, well, I don't know what else to say now. I mean, my knowledge is limited. And then you remember the people, y'all remember the people, the number one bullshit guy. This is what they were saying. I ain't number one bullshit guy. I'm talking about the Miami Bayside shit. Number one bullshit guy. I'm talking about demons are gonna come concerned. Number one bullshit guy. You know what I mean? That's all they were trying to tell y'all. Yeah, they can't do that. As I say, listen, instead of trying to figure out why I can go for hours on end, you complained about an hour, 2, 3 hours. You weren't there for the clubhouse days. Why I get 12, 13 hours straight.
Come on.
What are you talking about?
Come on.
You can do that when you're not going to run out of things to speak about because you studied your whole life to speak about the things you're speaking about.
Come on.
And people ask questions. I say, I invite people to ask questions all the time. Listen, you want to know something? Ask me a question.
Mm-hmm.
And people ask questions, especially in those times. And that's where they had Hocus for a Fifth. Listen to a Hocus. Hocus for a Fifth used to do these rooms. I think it was called a rabbit hole room. Right? And he had his other brother named Disco Dave. Listen to the name. Disco. Disco Dave used to be in there, which explained his whole fucking mannerisms. He used to be in there, and he'd be like, yo, I'd be speaking and teaching. And then people would ask questions. Nobody knew the answer. They'd be quiet. All right? Then I unmic. Okay, well, I'm going to give you this answer. And then somebody ask something else. They get quiet. All right, so I guess I'll step in and answer this. And then after a while, people start realizing Faise One don't got all the answers, but he able to answer all these fucking questions.
Exactly.
And give us things to look into to find more information about.
Exactly.
So what do people start doing? They start coming to another nigga room to ask me questions. And the niggas ain't like that shit. So what happened is they'll be sleep. Listen, y'all, they would literally be sleep. The other moderators would be sleep on the stage. It's 6, 7 a.m. I'm still going. Why am I still going? Because people are still asking questions. You know what I mean? And what they'll do, Disco Dave would blow the whole room. They call boom the room. He would boom the whole room. Then people be DMing me. 30 people come DM me and be like, yo, what happened? I wanted to know that. They blew the room. I can't do nothing about that.
Come on.
But it'd be 400, 500 people in there listening still.
at 6, 7 a.m. and they be complaining to me, you took over the room. Y'all is asleep. You literally sleep. People just want to know the truth. That's it. So I had to start doing my own rooms and recording my own lessons, which is why you didn't see in most of my teaching, 90% of my teachings, you didn't see nobody else on stage. You know what I mean? Because people wanted their questions answered. They don't want nobody cutting it off and disrupting the flow and all that. They just want to know certain answers to certain things. You know what I mean? And I told you who my master teacher is. I never tried to act like I was him. Come on. Okay? Here's what my master teacher gave me. The ability to be a teacher or to be a master teacher. He gave me that ability, not to copy him. Come on. He gave me the ability to be that which is acknowledged as a master teacher here. You with me? So what am I giving y'all? That same ability. That's what they have an issue with. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So why the fuck you following these people here? Go Google that. Exactly. Yeah, it's right there, right? Yeah, it's a lot more. You see books on there. Yeah, look at it. I'm proud of this person. So you got they ain't saying shit. They gave you 60 seconds. Go look at that. You know what I mean? Don't follow this person. What are you talking about? What are you doing? I'm paying him. I'm gonna go and sit in his convention to hear him talk to me about how life is gonna be better. Go Google motivational speeches and work out. What are you talking about? Go look up financial literacy classes for free online. What are you talking about? All they do is putting the black thing in front of it to win you over. I mean, they were almost said he be the main one talking about please send me money. I ain't never seen no fucking please up under none of these fucking live videos. Here go another thing. I know you can't really read because you know if you did you would have known there's plenty of reason to fuck with your father teachers. Come on. But let me help you. It says play for change, send donation and email for my 10 books. Meaning I wasn't chilling, chasing tail, none of that. I got work to show. Come on. So if they're not just donating, they're donating for 10 books. Come on. Now, here's what I want. Here's what I want to do. By the show of green light emojis. And if you don't have the green light emoji, because somebody's like, where's the green light? All right, just comment one emoji. That's how I know. By the show of green light emojis, please don't troll. All right? If you got in my books and you read my books and you were enhanced in one way or the other, okay, all I want you to do is drop one green light emoji, okay, to show all the people out here how many of you have actually not just donated, received something while helping me. There was no secret. My thing was they were swindling people. People been sending money in for herbs, tangible herbs that they never got. Mm-hmm. They never received. People were telling me that they went to Brother Polite. I don't know this to be true because Brother Polite never scared me. Okay, but that's what people were saying. One of the brothers came on here and said it was bags a million. Came on here and said he sent 2,500 to Brother Polite. And he never got what he was asking for. They didn't flip. He said 90 days. I guess he thought 90 days is long enough for a nigga to forget. You know what I mean? There was a lawyer sister online for a while back. I was younger. I was in high school. She was talking about she was coming after Brother Polite because people talking about he took him for 3,000, took him for 5,000, ran in Calabasas because niggas had ran him out of that. All kinds of shit was going on. Is what people were saying. Again, Brother Polite never scared me. I can't speak of no personal experience, but people were saying that. Y'all pay attention to all of the people that are commenting that they got the books and they read the books. So you know I was begging for money. What do you know about begging for money? So here goes the thing. I'm not upset with niggas. Who remember me saying, I'm not upset with niggas making money. Not King Keys making money. Anybody. I'm not upset with people making money. I want everybody to be successful. I said that. Okay? Except the swindlers. Except the scammers. Come on. Except the people who are finessing their way into abundance. You know what I mean? I don't want them to succeed. I even say I don't want niggas to have fans, followers, or none of that. I want all the people who have been finessed and swindled and scammed by these people to walk away from these devils. Mm-hmm. That's what I said. Other than that, I ain't never saying I want niggas to make money. You know what I mean? I would rather people that have the money. I was excited during 2020. You know what I mean? I wasn't one of those people hating on people who getting loans and shit. I was excited for niggas because niggas had, even if it was Hellcats, cat, whatever the fuck, rented cars, homes they just bought, Airbnb, they living it up big, people on Dubai. You know what I mean? I don't care what it was. They weren't killing each other. Come on. You know what I mean? They weren't robbing each other. And then they pull up to the gas station, niggas was doing this. You know what I mean? Nigga pull up, they do this. You see a nigga. You let them know you see it. Hey. You know what I mean? Niggas are pointing at each other. Sending love to each other. I was happy about that. Listen, I'm not upset with people making money. So again, let's clear that up. Yes, I let people donate. Okay? There are people who follow or followers on the account. Faise One, who've been working with him, doing business with him, they spent $1 and received 10 books. You know what I mean? I'm trying to find a scam where you go on Amazon, these motherfuckers got their books up there $50. You know what I mean? You gotta pay it for this. If you can't afford it, $25. You know, you can't get it. You know what I mean? They already swindling people. They'll be damned if you use some shit for free. You know what I mean? So I'm letting you can do $1. Okay, cool. That's it. I have people that have sent $5,000. Somebody said 5,000, 4,000. Anybody who's been subscribed, you subscribe to Faise One, you know this is amazing. The person who has that issue, Because if you replicate that, right? All right, let me try this one more time. You didn't study him, did you? You didn't study his works. You didn't see how many books he wrote. You didn't see how many times he called out the celebrities at that time. Come on. And the leaders in the communities at that time. You know, the Live Phillips, Farrakhan, you know, he said that's his brother. All right, he still was exposing certain things about it. Okay, let people know what was going on behind the scenes. And he was saying, Farrakhan said he's scared to death of him. Not scared in the way to say that he think he's going to do something to him, but he was afraid to be questioned. You know what I mean? And put on that platform to have to deal with the true light. You know what I mean? Waradin Muhammad, okay, or Wallace Muhammad, all this, who was it? Ben Carter, or Ben Amin, okay, Yahweh Yahweh, y'all remember? So then you see all y'all people, y'all have similar types of positions, and y'all have based yourselves with like all these costumes and shit as people that are of those messiahs or leaders, and all I'm doing is the same thing Pops is doing. That's why you got a problem. Same thing they was doing. But look, Pops had done the book, right? He'll do like Sunni Orthodox, 360 questions to ask a Sunni Orthodox Muslim, okay? And it took them niggas 3 years, 4 years to respond with one book. And by the time they came back around on that 4th or 5th year with that one book, Pop done wrote 79 more books. And they don't have shit to do with them niggas no more. It took all them niggas to come together to try to put out one book on Pops. So it took all y'all niggas come together to try to do one exposing. And all I'm disappointed about, same thing with the brother Sanchez. He was like, Elder and F1. I said, who the fuck is F1? That's not fair. I mean, I was crying this damn, bro. It's not fair. He going to say Faise One. You know what I mean? So I was the one saying, hey, that's promo. I don't know what niggas trying to kick it like that. Because niggas don't want the truth to come out. They don't want that. You know what I mean? So they try to kick it. But I was the one saying, damn, just say my name so people can come and find me. And I'm telling y'all, if people who thought that they were rocking with that, saw Faise One exposed and came and found me, and they ain't going nowhere. They ain't going nowhere. I'm telling you, I know how this shit go. I'm having it. Like, I think niggas ain't going nowhere. Niggas be like, oh, shit. Hold on. Whoa. Wait, hold on. Red light, green light. Oh, shit. Niggas say, I like it here. I mean, I was saying come home. Niggas was like, I fuck with that. Them niggas gonna be like, come home. They're like, I hate home, nigga. They not going back. Y'all with me? So, yeah, send them over here. And they gonna be like, oh, shit, hold on. You niggas. There's niggas who, they try to convince themselves that they still hate me for some shit I said in 2021. They don't even realize they didn't rock with me. Some nigga done donated, forgot they hate me. Oh shit, requested back. Damn, I hate this nigga. Why the fuck I want these books? What's in those books? They not out here. These books, the shit I talk about, you ain't Googling. You're not Googling it. Because these are decodings, all right, of real events. And telling you certain things that was going to happen, whole year breakdowns before they came. That niggas ain't having that. That ain't. So you say, damn, I hate this nigga. I want this book. Why do I want this book? No. I'm gonna go over here. And you sit here with all these niggas that sold the same sea moss for 7 years. Like, this shit is 700, nigga. You know what I mean? You realize you been paying this nigga for some shit that's down the street at the Rondos. You know what I mean? You say, this nigga, hold on. He took the label off this shit. That shit is over there in crystal blue. You know what I mean? It ain't my fault. It ain't my fault. Come on. That don't have nothing to do with me. And then people like, then you open up the book and say, God, this shit ain't nowhere. I ain't never heard no shit like this. Damn. This nigga broke down deodorant. He broke down masonry and deodorant, secret and degree. It was right in front of your face. You didn't see it. He said, when you put the secret symbol, the check with the secret and the check with the degree together, you get the full square. Come on. And that is the secret degree. Come on. I said, man, what the fuck? You know what I mean? This nigga broke down the name of the nigga who came out with the story of the cherry tree being chopped down as Mason Lock Wings, and told you that Mason was dealing with the traveler. Lock is what they said they were going to do to the flag. Okay, fold it up and lock it and put it on the ground. And guess what wings mean? Underground. Stop playing. Why they playing? They said, I don't see this shit nowhere. Niggas typed it in. Said Mason Lock Wings mean. Bro, he ain't get shit but the Wikipedia. It's nowhere. You know what I mean? So yeah, listen, if people, y'all read the book, right? And it ain't just no promo for the books. This is just me selling, like showing you how this shit going. You will know if somebody done read these books. Exactly. And they say how it happens. They're going to say it verbatim. Because how is you going to say it? The niggas did not say, nigga, we are 8 plus 1 ether beings. They didn't do that. The niggas said we're 9 ether. It's right here. They took it. They said the same exact shit. We're 9 ether beings. You know what I mean? They say we're 5 plus 4 plus 2 minus 2 ether, nigga. That's us. They didn't do that. They gave you the acronym for peace. They didn't even change the words. They just used the same shit Pops used. Come on. Damn, acronyms like that's different shit. Niggas said believe is be naive. They ain't say Eve lying, nigga. Be cool. They ain't switch around. Reza Islam put tail light vision in his book, the Millennial book, whatever the fuck. Message to the Millennial. What is it? He put the shit in the book. Tell light vision. I said, I'll be goddamn. Tell light vision. They need to change the shit up. You know what I'm saying? So that's different. If you don't know people don't read the books. You'll be like, this nigga, I ain't never heard nobody say, "Bah, come here." You know what I'm saying? And then break that shit down. So new science is not only just explaining something that you would not have known, all right? Breaking something down that would not have been shown if that person didn't do it. Come on. And that is what happened when Prophet Muhammad came forth. Okay? Make no mistake, the Malaika, who are called the angels, knew everything that the Quran was speaking about. But these forgetful people did not know. Come on. Okay? Or the ones who were created as insan, okay, these human beings did not know. Or mankind did not know. So the one who wrote with the pen, okay, informed man at the clock, all right, as sperm gushing forth from the spine, this is all in Surah 96. Go read 96, chapter 96 of Al-Quran, Al-Alaq. Okay, the clock. Okay? And you're going to see exactly what's in. The one who wrote with the pen. Okay? Or wrote out or gave you the whole lineup or the datum of who mankind was going to be, programmed their numbers, and filled up the matrix with all the things man was going to have access to. That's how he knew all things. Okay? He knew the 0 and the 1, the binary, the two lights, the 101. Okay? He knew that 101 is 19. Because to say 1 and 0 and 1, to put that 0 and that 1 together gives you a 9, and that's 19. All right? Other than that, binary is just to say this and that and this and this and that and that and this. You're not creating anything new. You're not really actually learning anything new. You're just realizing more of the ways that these elementals can be used. 0 and 1. You know what I mean? The Malaika knew all of that. Okay? Only thing they didn't know was what was going to become of Adam, okay, or Kadmon, Zakar, all right, or these enocytes, okay, or the inside beings, okay, or the humans. They didn't know that because they asked Allah Ta'ala, they say, yo, are you going to create a race of beings that's going to cause bloodshed, all right, and corruption in the earth? And what did Allah say? He said, yo, I know what y'all niggas don't know. I mean, he didn't confirm nothing out. He said, I know what you don't know. They didn't know that. Other than that, all the science and listen, there's quantum physics in Al-Quran. Okay? Tell me the science of being able to travel from one place to another, okay, so fast that your concept or reality of time switches, and it goes from a day to 50,000 years within past because you shifted a location. That's in Al-Quran. They study the Quran. Quantum physics study the Quran, quantum physicists. Okay, they go into Al-Quran. All right? That's why it's a clear book. More things are being figured out. The miracle number of 19 is still elusive to the people who think they grasped it because it's all encompassing. Because you've never beheld beyond the number 9. You don't know how. All right? It hasn't been exposed to men beyond the number 9. You can detect it, but you cannot see the reflection of it. All right? It can be detected, not reflected to you. And why I'm saying reflected is because when you look at something, there's a light reflecting off of the object. So you're not really seeing the thing, you're seeing a reflection of light, photons, electromagnetism coming and resonating with you, okay, in your visual sensory input compartment. That's how this works. So we haven't beheld past 9, maybe we haven't beheld past white. Okay? We don't really see or behold ultraviolet. Okay? So it's elusive what 19 is actually speaking about for a lot of people because they cannot prostrate. You know what I mean? If you actually understand the science of prostrating, then you will allow for the all-knowing one to know it for you. Come on. You know what I mean? That's why I say Allah knows. Okay? The divine knows. You ever heard anybody say Lord knows? Tupac got a song say Lord knows, Lord knows, Lord knows. Okay? All right? You say, yo, where the fuck, when are niggas coming back? Hey, only God knows. All right, that means it's known. But you don't know. But are you not one with the Most High? Come on. Are you not one with God? Okay, so give it to God then. You hear me? Like, I don't know when the fuck these niggas gonna get a clue. I don't know when the fuck these niggas gonna wake up. Well, only God knows. I give that to God. I can see y'all done lost your fucking mind. You hear me? But hey, only God knows why. Only God knows how you even deal with yourself. Because y'all get misconstrued. You think I'm on here, you know what I'm saying, for validation from people. You know what I mean? That's what y'all are doing. You turn off these cameras and you look in the mirror and hate what you see. Come on. Right? You want to raise your frequency song where I said, do you love what you see when you look in the mirror? All right. If you don't, it's okay. Because it's never too late. All right. Like I say, it's not too late for 21 Savage to come home. It's not too late for Manessa to come home. It's not too late for 19 Keys to come home. It's not too late for other people to listen, come home. Atone. A harmonic convergence. It's not too late. All right. But will you do it? I made it all make sense. From every school. We done wrote it. All of it's been made to the people's senses. It done made it to their senses and resonated. Okay? What is he pushing that's wrong? You cannot say Faise One is stuck on the Abrahamic religions when he teaches astral projection. What are you talking about? You cannot say Faise One is stuck and left behind in some religious class when he can have a room full of all the people from different religions and they're not fighting. They're not arguing. They're not bickering about whether or not there was a J back then. You know what I mean? They're not trying to fight and tear each other hair out about whether or not he was black or white. You know what I mean? They're not screaming about who the chosen ones are. You are, I'm not. We are, they are, we are, I'm not. You know, I am, you're not. Them people is. No, they're not doing that. Everybody's sitting together or standing together, working together. When we come together, that's how it is. That's why I say, you see less and less. In the beginning, there was a lot of people trolling, but less and less of people who need to stand to troll. Come on. Y'all saw almost come in, he couldn't stand. It's all recorded, literally, not by me alone, okay? But it's recorded by the two angels also, who I told you, Atmos would know who I'm talking about. If he actually studied what he says he's a branch off of, you can't tell me what 5% of you didn't study Islam. That don't make sense. Because you didn't study and become fully aware of Islam and its pristine purity, but you went right to a branch off of it and not study the roots. You didn't study the roots. Okay, but you study the roots. You know about them two angels. They said they record everything you're doing. Okay, the angels who record your deeds, the angels who are going to question you about who is Rasulullah. You know what I mean? And if you can't say Muhammad is Rasulullah, okay, they got a problem with you. You know what I mean? Or who's the messenger of Allah? That's what he really saying. Who's the sent Rasul? All right, to be a messenger of Allah Ta'ala. And you don't know the answer to that. There's a lot of things that are going to be asked in that day of standing, or they'll be charged, okay, or erected, okay, or resurrected. The day of resurrection, Yom Kiyama. All right, you got Yom Aki, you got Yom Kiyama, you got Yom Din. All right, all these times, there's going to be a time period where people are going to be called forth. All right, so it's all recorded not just by me, but by the ones who you should be aware about if you know them sciences. Okay, if you say they're not here, prove they're not here. If you say there are no extraterrestrials or angels or recorders or akashas and all the stuff y'all try to sneak around and speak about, but you don't want to deal with the fact that it's all recorded in these biblical scriptures and Quran scriptures and all the Vedas, you don't want to talk about how these sciences that y'all talking about in the spiritual community are in these people's holy books. Come on. They are there. You know what I'm saying? All you have to do is be able to show them there. But you won't be able to show them if you didn't study it. You know what I mean? So it's recorded. He came out here, couldn't stand. All right, remember I brought up them two angels? He went quiet. It's all recorded. All right, if Mrs. Faze hasn't already posted it, it will be posted. Okay? He got quiet. I brought up them two angels. Say, listen, you don't have to prove anything to me. You know you're lying. I don't know why you're lying. Maybe, I get it. Maybe it's because you feel that people are going to chastise you because you lied. All right, boom. Well, that's what happens. You know what I mean? Move forward. You live to grow. All right, another day. You live to grow another day. You live to rise up another day. You get to wreck and defy whatever version of yourself wanted to tell a deception. Okay? Or a tall tale, as they call it. Or a bald-faced lie. All right? Now, Cat Wood will come out. He exposing all this shit. He's calling people liars, and even in communities or the country celebrities and say, yo, it's not no race no more. You're going to keep pulling them games. Okay? It's about good, evil. All right? And all you deviants, he said, okay, this will be your time to fall. All right? In the movie Eternals, they were at war with the deviants. Go watch the movie. They were at war with a race of beings, a very vicious race of beings called deviants. All right? They were trying to deviate people, cause people to forget Manessa, cause people to stray away from the path. Manessa the Manessa. Use a sleight of hand, and again, you needed help. I didn't come on here. You don't see 4 rectangles. You know what I mean? But this person, that person, everybody's sitting around waiting to talk. What the hell? Lame for? No, I can get on here and tell people, pop my shit. What's going on? And all we trying to see is when are y'all going to be able to do that and bring the truth to people. Y'all with me? So here's the top line of all of that. Zakar meant to remember. Don't follow Manessa the Finessa. Okay, don't follow anybody. Because they forgot who the master teacher is. And if they remember who the master teacher was, they will recognize him in me. They will recognize the true light in me. They will recognize why. And let me tell you something. Again, off record, they acknowledged it because they didn't have a choice. All right? Manessa or Lifeway's words were, we cannot lose with him. Come on. Yeah, so you was lying. That's weird. All this shit is weird. You know what I mean? You had him around, you wanted him to meet other people, and all of a sudden it changed. You know what I mean? No, it's weird. If you were speaking the truth from the beginning, you would have told the man how you felt from the beginning, but you couldn't do that. All right? So then how can people trust what you say if you can't stand on truth? Anything you say, if it's true, I'm saying. Y'all with me? So that's what I want people to remember, okay? When all these people are coming through, trying to push this amber light, remember, y'all lost your damn mind. You done lost your mind. Next motherfucker trying to tell you to go to Baphomet, look them in their eyes, and be like, you have lost your goddamn mind. Come on. You know what I mean? And say goddamn as in G-O-T. You don't gotta say goddamn, say goddamn. You done lost your goddamn mind. Somebody's gonna go up under the moon cycle, up under Baphomet. You done lost your mind. You know what I'm saying? And if they're gonna try to explain it, they're gonna have to tie it around to Revelation. If you can't tie it around Revelation, it don't make sense. Because y'all just said the year 2020 was the year of Revelation. So why you still telling people to be up under Hilal or Halal to conceal? You don't lost your damn mind. Y'all with me? So I wanted to come on here and just clear that up. Okay? There is no exposition of phase one. They can't do it. All right? And if you can, you'll be helping me. Because I need the world to know who I am. You know what I mean? We need the world to know who I am. There was a brother, Rich Homie Monte, all right, a while back. He was on a live with me. This was when Trump was running for president. Okay? And actually, I think Trump might have been president. He was president. Okay? He might have been running again. I think it was in 2020, somewhere around there. Right? But I told him, I said, I don't have no desires. I don't desire. These people fucked up behind desire, Desha. And I told you what Desha means, red. Okay? I'm not under Amber. He said, you for real? I said, yeah. He said, you don't desire to be heard? And it was a good ass question. And I answered, I said, I know we need me to be heard. Come on. It ain't about no desire. We need this to happen. We need phase one, the superstar, to happen. Okay? Because when phase one, the superstar happens, think of all of the people who are going to strive to emulate that light and above. Come on. So niggas don't want to be cool for drill music no motherfucking more. Right? I got a lot of people, a whole list of people who hit me and say, yo, I done deleted all my killing songs. Yo, I don't even do that shit no more. You right, bro. I was tripping. I couldn't even realize what I was listening to. You know what I mean? Some people say they used to be Drake fans. Some people say they used to fuck with YoungBoy. And now you're like, damn, I can't even listen to that shit no more since you done came out. You with me? That's what we need, because ask yourself this. If you had a son, would you rather him look up to phase one, or would you rather him look up to YoungBoy? That's not saying your son gotta look up to anybody. I can see people trying to, we need our own leader. We are our own leader. I can see y'all now. Relax, chill, okay? It's deeper. It's bigger than that. Okay? If there was an option or choice, because remember, if you don't lead your child, all right, they're gonna be led by somebody. Okay? The niggas in the hood, the females, whatever. Would you rather your son look up to phase one or YoungBoy? Would you rather your son to look up to phase one or Lil Baby? Would you rather your son to look up to phase one or Vanessa or Vanessa? I mean, look, you can't listen. Think about what I'm telling you. That's all. Okay? Because you got to look at the movements. Some people more famous, not a bigger movement. Damn, that's strange. Come on. You know what I mean? Some people got more following, not a bigger movement. Damn, that's strange. Come on. You look at all you, somebody got 800,000 followers, 1 million followers, not a bigger movement. That's strange. You with me? So with all these people, what do they do? To be fans. They want fans. They don't want to give people something that's going to allow each of those people, all right, each of those persons, okay, to build something in their own life. They don't want to give that. They want to finesse like they're giving that. Okay? But it all boils down to somebody looking up to them, and that's it. Okay? Now, let's get this clear. I looked up to and still look up to Dr. Malachi York. All right? So Malachi York brought forth his works. And I was able to, and I'm still able to, look at how he did his works. And now I can do works, and I'm helping not just people, realities, okay, shift and change. Atmospheres, climates, music scenes. Y'all seeing it happening. All of it is changing. Okay? So, yeah, I still look up to Dr. Malachi York. There's nothing wrong with looking up to somebody. But they want fans, okay? Which is short for fanatics. That's what these people want. Pop didn't want fanatics or just followers, all right? He wanted people who were going to, like he said, if they don't go out and teach it, we're wasting our time. He don't want introverts. He said he don't want people who are just going to stand in and just hold it. That's why I told you, all y'all got to come out of that darkness or that shadow or that shell. You got a voice. Use it. This is the year of the orator. Speak more. You know what I mean? And speak intently. All right? And if every time you get a chance, tell people about phase one. Don't be ashamed about that. Don't I tell people about Malachi every time I get a chance? Does Brother Ben mention Farrakhan? Every time he get a chance, shout out to Brother Ben. All right? Does Golden Child mention Farrakhan every time he get a chance? Shout out to Golden Child. You with me? All the people who know that we were guided by somebody. And because we were guided by somebody, we were able to do grand works. If you were able to. Okay, then there's no shame in saying you look up. So again, would you rather somebody look up your son, look up to phase one, or look up to 21 Savage? As is. All right? The answer should be clear. Okay? Or would you rather somebody look up your son or daughter, all right, look up to phase one, or the City Girls? All right? Or Meg the Stallion. You know what I mean? Or Doja Cat. All these animals. You know what I mean? Or Snoop Dogg. But which one? And you have the right to choose whichever one it is. I'm just saying, all right, I'm not raising people to be followers. Okay? I'm not raising people to just listen to what somebody's saying and just believe that shit. Hell no. Read the rehab book if you think I am. If you read the rehab book, you know, there's a whole section. Almost the whole middle part of the book, I'm explaining this ain't that. Basically, I could have just wrote this ain't that. You know what I mean? But the whole middle section of the book, I'm explaining for pages. Say, hey, look, I don't know what that is. You're not following. You're not in no cult. Okay? This ain't no hate. This ain't no extremist group. This ain't nothing. You can't put a name to it. What's the name? What do we call? Come on. Exactly. You know what I mean? There's no university you sign up for. None of that shit. You don't have to pay to be no member. Right? No. This is different. This is flowing so freely that it's weird to try to even put a name on it. You know what I mean? Just do what we got to do. I don't need you to be a new YB. Okay? I need you to be a newer being. Yes. Okay? I need you to every day renew the self. Okay? And make a decision every day to help. But you don't got to, okay, if you don't want to say Rahu back, you don't got to say Rahu back. All right? I'm going to teach you the tone so that you can't have the option to say it. Or Mrs. Faise is going to bring that tone and put the sister in position to teach you language. You got the option to say that now. You can use that tone. All right? And see what happens. If nothing happens, it's fine. Okay? But if the same thing happened that happened for me, the activation of the brain, great. That's why I gave it to you. You know, that's why Dr. Malachi York brought it around so we can have it. Okay? Then we keep going as the language is still changing and the science is still evolving. Okay, yeah, but we have to bring everybody together. Get them all together. You with me? So if you would allow me with that, you got no problem. Why do they got an issue? You cannot tell me that these people were so taken aback about Faise One having an issue about a female that all niggas were like, at one time, fuck this nigga. It don't work like that.
Exactly.
Not with your brother. Exactly. You know what I mean? And here's what they tried to kick it to. They said, we don't know Faise One. That might be the only thing they said that was true. You're right. You don't know me. Okay? However, you know who I am. Okay? As far as what my role is in this, what I'm doing. You've seen what I'm doing. That's why you met me in videos and teachings before you ever came across me. Mm-hmm. They knew who I was. All right, they knew what I was doing. They knew who I stood with. I would never been that close. You know what I mean? Hopefully, but again, they let snakes snick on it. Mm. Really, so I can't really say that. But they knew who I was. They wanted to align with me because they saw the light. But as soon as they got close, okay, because of their genetic structure, it burned them. Mm-hmm. And they would have realized you got to change yourself. The light ain't going to change. Green light ain't going to change. All right? By a show of emojis. All right? Has that green light ever got on your nerves? All right? Before y'all even get the answer, I'm going to tell y'all right now. I done woke up sometimes like, God damn, okay, something's being purged. All right? Because that green light, like I told you from the beginning, it ain't always peaceful. Sometimes it's chaotic. Because truth ain't always peaceful. Sometimes truth, oftentimes, most times, truth gonna shake them waters up. Mm-hmm. All right? But you better let it do that. All right? Let me show you the scientific occurrence of what I just said. When we did our fast, did anybody observe irritability? Mm-hmm. Okay? When we were doing the streamer retention, did anybody observe that they were more irritable? Mm-hmm. And what I tell you, I said, when it happens, go through the motions. Feel it. Let it. Something's being purged. Mm-hmm. You with me? So, yeah, it'll burn. But you got to change. You got to shift. All right? You can't get mad. You're touching the rose, okay, and you're not being careful of the placement of the thorns, and you're saying that it poked you. The rose poked me. Remember the 1,000 Words movie with Eddie Murphy? Okay, where he went up to the Bodhi tree. Interesting. The Bodhi tree and touched the Bodhi tree, and what happened? He said, the tree cut me. And what the guru man said, the tree did nothing. The tree is not alive to cut you. You cut you. You didn't know how to touch it. You know what I'm saying? You didn't know how to approach that light. You didn't know how to behold that light. So you thought you could get close to me, now realizing something in you is going to cause you to walk away. You're not going to be able to stay around. Okay? And that's why Dr. York put in his books, he said, I convert devils. He said, I'll convert the devil. You know what I mean? Yeah, if you around long enough, your shit it's gonna turn green or your head gonna roll. If you standing outside one day and you realize your head rolling, yeah, you couldn't turn green. But you be around it, your shit gonna turn green. All right? Listen, I'm speaking from experience. Okay, I tell my people around me, literally, I'm proud of y'all. Cause I can see niggas light turning green in front of me. You know what I mean? We came a long way. Some people, family members, whoever, we come a long way. I see you. I'm letting them know that. You with me? Because the light is reaching them. But don't make any mistake about it. That doesn't mean that people in my family was always excited about when I come and bring them some shit. Listen, I'm 100% sure I done aggravated the fuck out of every one of my siblings. You know what I mean? Who heard the When I'm Going song where I say, my brothers and my sisters, I was hard on y'all. All right, next line. But I left millions in y'all bank account. But I say I left millions in my bank account for y'all. Go ball. Meaning what? Yeah, I had to beat certain things over the head and get you to understand certain things you couldn't see. Because I was looking at something you couldn't see, but then you saw it, and you came around and said, he was right about that. All right, cool. I was hard on you. Sometimes you hated me. Not hated me like wanted me dead, hopefully. But sometimes you hated me and you didn't like what you saw or beheld because it rubbed you the wrong way. Okay? But then they all come around and say, they get it now. They see it now. And I'm proud of them for that. You with me? And I say, I left millions in my bank account for y'all. Meaning the fruits of the labor. Okay? You're going to understand what this was all about when your brother is gone. You with me? You're going to understand what all this is about when your cousin is gone. You're going to understand. All right? I'm not saying that in no sad way. I promise. I'm saying most of the time they don't really get it until you're gone. And that's just how it is, because that's why a lot of times they don't want to immediately get you going, because you become a martyr. And, you know, people witness that, which is what martyr etymologically ties you to. And then they want to become more of it. Like what happened with Tupac. They thought they tried to kill him. But like I said in the Q song, all right, they said they think if they kill me, that's the end. I said, but did it work for them for Tupac? Did it work for them with Malcolm? Did they? I said, did they factor in the possible reincarnation outcome? No, they didn't. They didn't know that same soul could regather, get it all together. All right, that same information that was split up, all right, or switched up and spliced and sent out to all these different parts to protect it, and then gathered all back at one point. They didn't think that could happen. All right, they didn't look at that, but then it kept happening. The same spirit or soul kept coming back. They said, "Damn, we know this voice. This is the voice likened unto the voice crying out in the wilderness. Damn, we know this voice. This is the voice likened unto the voice that was calling everybody to the truth. Damn, we know this voice." So again, they think it's one story. All right, they say the Bible, the Quran. They think it's one story. Okay, that story has happened millions of times over, in many different people's lifetimes. There's a Jesus of this time period. There's a Savior of this time period. There's a John the Baptist of this time period. There's a Hezekiah of this time period. Same way as a Manasseh of this time period. Look at niggas' names. Nigga named Manasseh. Ask him about Hezekiah. He don't know. He probably don't even know where his name came from. The father who was bringing divinity and order to Judah. Ask him about it. He don't know. Damn, bro, where your name coming from? You know what I mean? And then ask him, what did Manasseh do? All right? And then it lines up. He calls people to forget. It's what his name means. And brought everybody to all these celebrities or idols, Baal and Molech in them, or participated in rituals. You know what I mean? All this behind the scenes shit. That's what it is. But he didn't keep people here. All right? Say, look, this is what it's about. He got to get out for one. All right? We ain't going nowhere without that. Okay, so in the meantime, green time, y'all know I be saying it a lot, right? In the meantime, green time, okay, we got to get them all together. You hear me? So let the work show. Let the work show. So what I say, interestingly enough, in the song Yours Truly, I said, is it true what they say online? Right? Remember, this came out before they did this. I said, is it true what they say online? You can believe it if you choose. That's okay. It's fine. I shouldn't have to jump through hoops at a flame to try to change your mind. Chuck up the deuce and I pay the fine. It's way more complex than the movement, so take your time. When trying to figure why I'm moving this way, no matter who didn't stay. I said, it's cool. That's even if I'm alone, I just lace on up my shoes and I take the stride by my own side. We say, I will make it home regardless. You know what I'm saying? Plenty love to all the bones in the darkness. No, they still can see me. They like Faise got them all in. I will never lead you wrong. Keep walking. Keep walking. Damn, all these niggas got to respond to Faise now. They don't got shit going. Everybody got to get on. Listen, niggas who were trying to be quiet about Dr. Malachi York, now they have to say the name. You with me? They got whole teachers now saying his name, whole lectures and lessons saying the name. Now more people, brothers, who ain't never known, they say, yo, I got to find out, I got to do more research on who this man is. Oh, okay. Well, what did you do? What did you do? While your business was thriving, okay? While your money was stacking, okay? What did you do to help out? Don't tell me you send a little money to some swindlers. You know what I mean? No, what did you do? Okay? And we're raised, which we are, to be adepts. Okay? That means we're going to have works that we're going to be able to show for. All right? Donating money in the name of supporting Pops is not works to show for. All right? Especially being that a lot of the people...
And then what Pops wound up saying, because this was before I got the message from Pops. All right, let me see what time this actually went out. Oh, it ain't nothing showing up. It ain't going to show me the year. I know it's 2020. I'm looking at this shit right here. If it was a snake, it would have been March 9th. I ain't get the message from Pops till July. And he said, I'm not looking for people to donate money. I'm not looking for people to donate money. You see what I'm saying? So I said, donate money is all in alignment. And this is such a beautiful teaching. Let me tell you this, because all I hear from this being, I'm so proud of him. All I can hear is green light. All I can hear is the true light. All I can hear is Nuapu coming from this being here. I'm so proud of him. That, you can't fake it. And that's why it's flowing like that. This is a powerful teaching. So if you listen to him, I just wanted to point that out, that Pop said, I'm not looking for people to donate money. Listen to him.
Who were able to literally show that they had lawyers, they had phone calls with Pops, they had letters from Pops, all right, being able to literally show people, and then Pops was on the phone with them. I got to call him on my Facebook account. from 2021. He said, thank you for giving me a voice. Thank you for giving me a voice. That person don't get no help. She don't get no help. You know what I mean? Everybody try to kick her out to the side or isolate her. I'm seeing a pattern. I'm realizing a pattern. But what did I tell you years ago? I said, you won't see me in BWO. Everybody was talking about BWO.
Yeah,
I said, you ain't gonna see me with that. He said, Faise, man, I said, they wouldn't accept me there. He said, why, man? Come on, man, it's black, man. Da, 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 da. You know, I said, listen, that's a business. Okay? I said, that ain't even going, listen, why I try to tell you? And everything I said, it came about. That's a business. You think I'm lying? The brother Blue Pill, we supposed to be doing business with the goal. What I approached him, I said, yo, I'll do commercials for you for helping me, because brother Blue Pill had sent $100 to the donation back in like 2022, 2021. All right. And he made it his business to put it on record. That's all I'm saying. He made it his business to put it on record because I came in the room when the situation had came to a head with Takeoff's death. All right. Or Takeoff's transition. And I was asking everybody, I said, why every time one of the pillars in the industry fall, do the whole conscious community gather together to crowd? I said, y'all ain't been hearing what I'm saying? I told you that was going to happen. I literally said all of these pillars in the West were going to start falling. And then Faise One's pillar was going to rise in the East. Them niggas walked away. I didn't hear me say it. Okay, but they kept gathering every time one of Baphomet soldiers fell, all right, or one of the industry, or Shaitan, or what do you call it, Illuminati, or the Church of Shaitans, all right, or the Levians, okay, or anti-Levians, or Leviathanians came down, everybody gathered and crying and shit. I'm like, damn. All right, but when I asked for niggas to, everybody talk about magic, all right, sorcery, witchcraft, they always talk about this shit like they understand it. And then I say, let's hex the music industry. All right, they're putting out too many frequencies that are causing pain in our communities. Let's go to war with them. That's all I said. I said, let's go to war with the music industry. Everybody's did like this. Right? But then some shit happened and they were all together, gathering to mourn one of the fallen ones. I said, I don't get it. This don't make sense to me. You know what I mean? I thought this was the same industry that y'all have been complaining about, making Illuminati videos about, talking about people covering the eye and da-da-da-da. Okay. All right, so I said, watch this. You see the people over there? You see them? Number one, watch what happens. Okay? I said, no, it's going to come from that direction. Watch. They said, what the fuck is this nigga talking about? Pillar. Boom, 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 boom. This one, that one over here, this one over here.
So rolled it, man.
And every time it happened, they had a clubhouse room. And guess who they wanted to come in and talk? You know what I mean? Listen, a lot of them clubhouse rooms I wouldn't even know about till niggas sent me the link. They said, hey, you seen this? As soon as I come in the clubhouse room, I'll be quiet. All right? Niggas, after a while, they address the elephant in the room. He said, Faise, what do you think? You heard about this shit? Yeah, but I already told you. I said, what I kept saying, I said, keep watching. Keep watching. They didn't understand it. You with me? So I was confused. I'm like, yeah, all the people who do the magic and stuff, how about we fight the beast? Stop doing magic on the people who are non-suspecting. Okay? And all the commoners. All right? Or like you said, the Muslims, when we fall like that, we go with the Harry Potter thing, stop doing magic on them. You with me? That's weird to me. And evil. Okay? Fight the beast. If you're a magician, fight them. Okay? So put out the warnings. We put out warnings. All right? These letters are also warnings. Okay? Because they don't know another way because it's going to come. All right? If things don't shift, it'll happen. It's going to happen. No, the sun is going to come out. Okay? They have to shift. And it ain't going to hit just the industry. It's going to hit the conscious community. Mark my words. Another wave comes. Then I tell you, I said, look, watch this. The green light coming. 3, 2, 1, boom. And green light was everywhere. It wasn't just in our homes. Remember? The green light beams coming down from the sky. That's what we talked about. Okay, cool. So watch. I'm telling you, they have to make the shift. Okay? Or there will be another wave. All we're doing is putting on record that not only is Mother Nature saying she wants it clean, okay? God is saying they want it clean. The children are waiting for it to be clean, okay? The ones who you call their ancestors are crying out to let it be clean. People's blood is crying out from the earth. Say, avenge us. All right, it's so much. This planet is crying. You know what I mean? Or was crying. She's sniffling now because she's like, who you say your name was? Faise One. Omari. She's sniffling now. You know what I mean? It's getting better. You with me? People are starting to come to the light. This her color. You know what I mean? Heart. Earth. Do the anagram. Heart. All right? EARTH. Okay? That's her color. She's feeling better. You walk outside, you feel it. You know what I mean? So it's just a little sniffle now. But the planet was crying. It was in a lot of pain. And a lot of people have been speaking about it. But now we said, no, we're going to clear all of that up. Okay? But why were y'all afraid to go to war with these devils? Why are you afraid? I don't get that. I'm not afraid of anybody. You know what I mean? That's why I say there's not people message my mother. These niggas who was in the Masonic Lodge and the YB Masonic Lodge or the YB Grand Lodge, one of these niggas
messaged my mama or messaged my homie, was like, yo, I'm not supposed to say this. You know what I mean? I'm really going above the line saying this, but you might want to talk to your son because his name is in the streets. It's a lot of shit moving on his name. He might want to be careful. He calling out all these celebrities. I'm like, damn. So what, is he a student of mine? Because he's saying all the shit I've already fucking said. What's going to be able to tell me about this? Listen, before the conversation happened, I told y'all, oh, these niggas got hits on me. I told people they had hits out before niggas even said the shit out their mouth. They were confused. Yeah, he must have been sitting in the room. Well, sometimes I was on the phone. You know what I mean? But as I told you, it's infiltration. You know what I mean? The FBI know about it. So sometimes I was on that phone. You know what I mean? And I hear what y'all talking about. Well, sometimes you don't know this nigga who you think he just cutting hair. But he coming and telling me everything y'all niggas done said. You know what I mean? And they're not paying no attention. You running your damn mouth. And now I know. All right? That's why I told you certain shit was handled. I didn't even know about it. It just got handled. This is the true light. You know what I mean? We cleaning stuff up. They had issue with Pops. Pops would have to move and leave locations and stuff like that because niggas putting threats on his life and his family, all of this stuff. Yeah, they had an issue with him, Bilal and all them, they had issues with him. So it's not different. So what can you tell me about this? I saw the master teacher do this. All right? And I know that if a man who I never even met in the flesh, okay, all I know is I remember being young and seeing him. Okay, but I never met him and said, hi, my name is. Okay, for me to be this encouraged to do right.
Come on.
Okay, and to not just do right, encourage others to do right.
Come on.
All right, for me to be that encouraged by a man I never met, okay, then I know that people who may have never met me, or when I leave, they never got to behold me. They're going to listen to my music. They're going to listen to that song Scream, and it's going to save their soul. They're going to listen to the Wedding of the Lamb album. They're going to say, I got to get myself together. Okay? They're going to listen to the Pete Moscato, and they're going to work it out with their wife. You know what I mean? They're going to go back into the Double X album. I'm telling y'all something that I put out, and now they're going to read these books and say, damn, we need to print these. You know what I mean? They're going to people that be passing away. You know what I'm saying? They're going to make sure that they got the songs playing at the funerals. All right? The celebrations of life. You know what I mean? There's so much that's going to change because I was here. Okay? I know that this was activated through Dr. Melakazi York. And I thank my mother, okay? If I tell you, make no mistake about it, go listen to Ye Not Crazy. Couldn't wait for no man to raise him. All right, mama, the reason I am a Mason. Couldn't wait for no mannerism. Just look at my mannerisms. I'm so supreme. All right? I'm telling you now, if it were not for her, even with the right knowledge that Dr. Melakazi York brought, I probably would have still fell astray because I had to have that light cultivated in me. All right? Even my father said to my homie, at least what she told me, I think he might have seconded it, right? He said, I'm grateful you raised him because I would darken his life. And my mama was like, no, the hell you wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? She ain't even like that. That was, she wasn't going to let that shit happen no motherfucker, even if he was around. You know what I mean? She's like, I would have darkened his life. No, you wouldn't have. You know what I mean? So I had to also, most importantly, thank my umi. You know what I mean? We had honor mother and father, okay? And like I said in the pop song, that's my pops. And I said, I give respect to the biological children of Dr. Melakazi York. Yeah. All right, I don't trust y'all, okay? But it's just true. I don't trust anybody. However, I give respect for it. I'm still, I can be a skeptic, all right, about all the ways y'all move and stuff like that until you be able to show me that you can bring forth the truth. Like some people are showing now. All right, okay, you bring one out, no problem with that. Other than that, there's a lot of y'all, you move very weird, all right? You're cool with people who brought cases against your father. That's odd to me. All right, it's been odd to me, no matter how I kick it. Okay, it's been odd to me from the beginning, all right, how y'all were doing that. Okay, so I still say, listen, and to keep things, I don't kick it to get along. You know what I'm saying? It's just, here go the thing. A lot of people didn't know why I was around. I was infiltrating. You know what I'm saying? I was around to hear. I was the ear. You know what I'm saying? Somebody ever sent you into a community and say, hey, go be my eyes. You know what I mean? Any of y'all niggas ever ran y'all shit like that? Where you know you can't just go around that. That motion got some other shit going on, so you're gonna send a female in there.
Come on.
Because a woman can get in and she gonna be able to beat game out some shit. Nigga too busy trying to look at her ass, they ain't gonna see why she over there by the safe.
Come on.
Learning the code. You know what I mean? Wait, this hypothetical. I'm telling y'all niggas shit that y'all. You know what I mean? Listen, hold on, stop it. Rewind. You know what I mean? Y'all ever brought a send a sister into somewhere, right? Because a woman gonna be able to walk through it. They don't know what's going on. They too busy looking at her ass. You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna be able to see why she's there. You know what I mean? All right, clear all that. Exit out, exit, cut, backspace. You know what I'm saying? Clip, boom. All right, ready? Rolling. Yeah, you know what I mean? Y'all don't know. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. Them kids go through that. Niggas don't expect shit. They don't even know about you there. I'm telling you, niggas is stupid. They don't even check followers. It got so deep. Listen, especially before I ever even knew who Mrs. Faise was. Right? It got deep as fuck. If a female DM me, I'm checking who she follow.
Come on.
You know what I mean? You don't even know that. Oh, you follow him? Oh, hell no. Niggas like, damn, that's a celebrity. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? I was checking for all that shit. All that shit peculiar to me. All right, oh, damn, you just like this person's picture the other day. No, this ain't got an issue with me. Oh, hell no, we ain't doing that. You with me? You gotta really be smart. The niggas ain't smart. Soon the female get in, they zombify. All right, and while they zombifying over there, nigga be making that move. You with me? So niggas don't know. Infiltration is a high science. Okay? Can you really play the dumb man? You know what I mean? Listen, I'm very wise. I play the dumb man. I'm playing the dumb man now.
All the time.
He said, how, Faye? I said, look, there's a law of power. Number 4, always say less than necessary. I talk all the damn time. When I come on here, I be speaking, and I still say less than necessary. You with me? That's playing the dumb man. You feel what I'm saying? Niggas be around me, they don't know I see straight through you. Soon as you step up, I see straight through you.
Come on.
You with me? I hear people's tone through text. I don't have to be where you are to know what you're doing. I don't have to be that. All I have to do is fixate my brain in a direction. And there's going to be a whole thing that lines up in front of me. And I'm going to know. And all I got to do is ask questions. And I'm going to watch motherfuckers squirm when I ask them. You know what I mean? That's why I say, look, it's a yes or no question. Yes or no question. They don't know if it's a yes or no question. I'm giving you the option. All I got to do is say this, yes or no. They can't. You squirming. You feel me? So they kicked like they wanted to come up and be on the live and shit talking. They didn't want that. Because if it wasn't going, they were going to try to make it be a screaming match. Answer these questions in front of people. They can't do that. And you couldn't even show me that you can text them. I see all that. I mean, I tell you, I know people who be crowded around each other, listening in. All people. It's a lot of people. It's Atlanta rappers who are in here now. Okay? It's celebrities who you might know them as that's your favorite rapper. I promise you, they're in here. Okay? It's might be a mayor in here. Okay? There might be somebody who's a member of the NAACP. Okay? There are Masons in here. There are Muslims in here, Christians in here. Okay? Everybody coming in here. And you see these numbers. Let me tell you another thing. This Instagram Live has glitched before and showed people how many people were actually present.
Come on.
Okay? It happened multiple times.
They always try to keep it under 100.
It done glitched and showed 1,400 people.
Exactly.
So let's show you this number. All right? But they ain't going to show you. This shit might be 2,000 people, 3,000 people in here.
Come on.
You with me? And you wonder how this shit moving that damn fast. I wouldn't be surprised when I've been on the live before, been 10,000 people in here. You with me? Because you got to look at the views. Look at how many people be watching and paying attention to the music and commenting and others and stuff. You got to pay attention to that. But I'm telling you, some of y'all don't witness it, who will be on here, and all of a sudden they say 1,470, 1,480. And even Mrs. Faye, she looks and sees, I said, see, I'm telling you. But they finesse it. Because they know people come in, they see less numbers, they're less apt to stay. It's just people, it's how their mind work. You know what I'm saying? Like you get on somebody's live, it's one person, you're going to hurry up and run. 3 people, you don't want to be even seen. I don't know what that is. You want to hurry up and get the fuck out. You with me? But that's the key thing. So we already brought forth the true light. Now we tell people to get on board. Listen, it's going to get easier after a certain point. All right, because we got these scissors and we cutting through the World Wide Web, opening up places people didn't even know shit was going to open up at. All right, revelations are happening for people that didn't even think was going to happen. All right, dead bodies are being risen. Okay, people are being brought back home. Isn't that what we wanted to happen? Didn't y'all want people? Isn't this what they were asking for? You know what I'm saying? Look, listen, you wanted reminders. Here we are. You wanted warners. Here we are. You wanted to know the truth. Here we are. Okay, always saying, hear it, receive it, go check it out, make sure it's something that you can utilize, and then walk. You with me? So I know we just did the whole deal. Okay, keep in mind this. Pop's already put it on record. That he came with that tone of the axis, the center point, the green light. Okay? Don't let these people convince you that Pop's deceived. He brought the truth about everything. That's why I'm able to teach the truth about all of these different walks of life. Because I was taught how to. And bring forth my own science and my own revelations and my own movements that align directly with his. You understand? Because he aligned directly with El-Qadir's. And El-Qadir aligned directly with Allah's. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing. Kitab Allah, the Sifa, we say Cypher, the Sifa, which is the holy book, okay, the holy tablets, okay, the Circle 7 Quran. All these are manuals or guides that's supposed to be showing people the way. All right, so the Mustaqim. Okay, the straight path. All right, the straight and narrow. All right, so what y'all got for me? I want to make sure we get to a few more of these questions before we get up out of here. Okay, I know that was a dynamic build. Okay. Since he's hosting a live, he can call people. Women naturally do things like that, though. I don't know what they like talking about. So, I know this live probably be streamed anyway, but say anyway. Okay, so you go back to this is what I'm telling you. And just pay attention to what I'm saying and how I'm saying it. All right, then ask yourself, who got an issue? Why would somebody have an issue with this man? You know what I mean? All he's doing is speaking the truth. That's all he's doing. And some people wanted to have an issue. After a while, they realized that I shouldn't have no issue with you. Y'all ever experienced that? Somebody trying to make you out to be the bad guy or the bad woman? And then people did a little investigation. And then they found out, damn, bro, I was lied to. You ain't even like that. That ain't how you are. Exactly. You listen to this up. He said we was outside on the patio, and he mentioned the spaceships now. Interesting name. Because then I asked him, I said, who sold y'all the crafts? Remember, his only response was not you. He couldn't even tell the truth. So now he's talking about, we was outside to see some spaceships. Didn't go into no detail. He couldn't go into detail. Because then you're going to have to point out that I was the one who pointed them out. But then what he said? He said, we were all out there looking at the spaceships. Didn't mention who pointed them out. Right? He left that whole thing out. There are things missing. There's omission. They're lying through omission. Right? He said, people were out there cheering, all right, when they saw the spaceships, and I was like, shh, shh. Then what he said? He's all like, shh, shh, shh. Be quiet, shh, 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 shh. You know what I'm saying? Don't scare him off. Bro, what the fuck? Like y'all, anybody who know me, like, well, that shit weird. I told you, I wanted to tell you earlier. I was like, damn, I don't think this shit worthy of even responding to. But so I'm like, nigga, teach anyway. I literally had to spank face. I don't like this shit. This shit was there, and they got blown to Kingdom Come with that green light. Go watch that. You understand? He said all these people trying to act like they're family to the extraterrestrials, but if your light is amber or red, if you're too heavy, okay, first of all, he said it's in this book, okay, there's no reason to come for the Homo erectus. There's no reason to come for them. You understand? He said you want to get back into or forward into, all right, the motion of the energy or the yield of the Homo sapien. Go back toward the light of the Natharu or the light of Eve, okay, or the living one. Okay, I'm going to show you how deep this shit goes. Okay, so a lot of people fell away from that path. They didn't stay on the straight and arrow. Okay, meaning the straight and arrow. So let's go straight here. All right, that's how you transmute, by the way, or transmutate. Okay, when I ask about Arthur Furman, we speak about that. You're speaking about transmutation. It's something we taught in masonry. All right, of how to come from the darkness into the light. Okay, it's not to say that falsified light. Okay, that's why I told you there's binary. There are two numbers operating in what this is called a matrix. All right, the left and the right. Okay, or the 0 and the 1, all right, or the amber and the emerald. That's why I told you, go watch the movie Spirited, all right, because it's all about redemption or being redeemed. And when we say in Revelation chapter 14, all right, verse 4, these are they which have not yet been defiled, all right, by the women, for they are the virgins. We were talking about the pure ones. And in that same chapter, we said these people have been redeemed, okay, from the earth, pulled out of the darkness into the light, come forth by day. Okay, this is what we've been saying. But a lot of people fell away. As Papa said, there's a lot of people lost their way. Lost. Listen, right there, lost, less. And they became like the mortals or the Babylonians. All right. So when I tell you people's names, I say, look, this name has already been put on record and revealed. I say, look at the one who calls himself Lifeway. I say, see that the name is Manasseh. Manasseh. And you go and look up, what does Manasseh mean? And you'll find Manasseh means the one who forgot. Okay? And not only does it mean the one who forgot, Manasseh also means causes people to forget. All right? Causes people to forget. Why is this important? Because if I say ensign, all right, or ensa in Arabia, it's also saying to forget, all right, ensa, to forget, okay? But it's also saying the word human or mortal. So what did it mean to become a forgetful one? It meant to fall, literally fall low, like Sophia or Baphomet did, when the one, all right, exiled her from the heavenly planes. Okay, what you call Jada or Melekut, all right, or simply just heaven or the cosmos. And she fell down into hell. She lost her way. She fell low. She was no longer able to be a member of the light. Okay, what did I tell you? When you say remember, what is re? R-E, ray. And what is ray? Ra. What is Ra? The sun. All right, remember you're saying the sun's rays, okay? Or you have to raise up to get to the sun. All right, then you have the word member. A member of the order of the light. Listen, order of the light. When we put people in that protection realm, what do we call it? The garden of the light. Okay, we just say the garden of the light, the illuminated ones. All right, even when you say seraph and other different words that say that these beings were enlightened. Okay, there was never a point in time when Dr. Malachi York said people should not be enlightened. However, he said, what? All you want is the truth. But people who don't have the truth don't want to tell you they don't know the truth. He said you have to be cautious about that. Because when you're speaking, you're not speaking the truth. Okay, he said you're not just talking to my mind, all right, or to my person. He said you're talking to my soul. He said, and you will be giving us what? Bad light. That's almost verbatim on what Dr. Malachi York was explaining. You'll be giving us bad light. He never said don't go toward the light. He said don't go toward the amber light. Okay, so interestingly enough, we got a lot of these people who are going toward the amber light. They're doing the amber works. And how do you know, Faise, who's amber versus emerald? If they cannot stand on truth, then in that moment, meaning in that frequency or current, the energy that is currently moving through them is amber or lowly. Okay. okay? Meaning they're likened unto Iblis, the deceiver, or Shaitan, the opposition. If they cannot stand on truth, then they are what we mean when we say the Amalek or the deceivers, or Shaitan, the opposition. If they're able to stand on truth, just like you observed me say, literally on these lives, if y'all can tell the truth, then you come up here. Why would I say it like that? Yeah, if you can just stand on truth, let me ask you this one question. Okay, I'm going to send you on this one question. And I want you to bring forth the truth when I ask you this question. That'll prove to me that you're ready, okay, to come up and be amongst the emerald ones. Anything these people will say, it is not even about admitting. It's saying, yes, you can back it up and say, that is true. Yes, that did happen. But they're not able to do it. And let me tell you how deep it goes. When we say amber versus emerald, all right, and how you have the living versus the dead, or the dead ones versus the living ones. All right, let me show you something. Let me get this water real quick. Because you have these images. They just put out one of these exposing videos, because finally, I guess Nick is able to say the name. All right, it was the one called Lifewave, who is Manessa. All right, and we'll get more into that. All right, isn't that interesting that his name means to forget? Okay, you have the one called Lifewave, and you have the one called Atmos, and the one called Sun Ra, and another person's name who I literally tell him every time I get the opportunity, your name ain't worth mentioning, so you never get mentioned. You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of people who gathered together, all right, all of them came together to speak against Faise One. And I said, pay attention, all right? Now, that's not to see that you can probably find the video, all right? I'm not telling people don't go watch it. You go find it and see whatever you want to see. But what you'll notice when you see it, okay, I want you to pay attention to something. And if they don't change it, you'll see it if you look at it, okay? Or we get on the end of this, somebody can remind me, all right, I'll show you the image. I want you to pay attention to, when you finally go see it, the fact that the video has red lettering, okay, or letters with a red glow around it. Pay attention to that first, okay? Because Faise One finally exposed some of the crazy story that I was supposed to be hiding. I want you to pay attention to the white lettering with a red glow, okay, not the green, okay? Then I also want you to pay attention to something that's very odd and peculiar, okay? They put an image of me standing like this, right? It's a million images they could have found, but they got an image of me standing like this, okay? And they had bars in front of me. Does that not sound odd to you? Okay, they're not familiar with the biblical scripture, all right? So they weren't even aware that they were putting their own foot in their mouth when they did that. They asked for Asa or Jesus to be put in prison, okay? They asked for Asa or Jesus to be put in prison. They celebrated and they were happy and joyful and cheerful when Asa, all right, was put in prison. Why am I saying that? Because I told you on this platform that Manessa, all right, who calls himself Lightwave, did not want to go to Sunday school. This is what was being literally spoken about. He didn't want to go to Sunday school because Dr. Malachi York was telling people don't be like him. He didn't think Pops liked him. All right, he stared him down. Okay, and when Dr. Malachi York got arrested, okay, he was celebrating. He was cheerful about it because he was thinking he doesn't have to go back to the Sunday school. They wanted Pops to be arrested. Another thing I brought out that these people had to face themselves about, I say, why so much finally y'all come together to speak against Faise One, but we can't get y'all to come together to mention Pops.
Come on.
We can't get y'all to come together to talk and tell the world about not Baba Yanen. They don't know who or what that is. All right? Tell the world about Malachi York, what happened to him, the injustice that's still playing out, all right, and how he needs to come home. And that's not what they did. They venerated and put everybody else on the pedestals and said, leave Asa, who is Imam Asa. That's the literal name or tone that Dr. Malachi York came up under, Imam Asa, all right, or came with, okay? They wanted him in prison, all right? So look at what I'm telling you. Why do you think one who is called Manessa, all right, who is calling himself Lightweight, his tone is Manessa, which means to forget, the forgetful one, but also means to cause people to forget. Why do you think he would use an image? Let me show you something. He would use an image of Faise One with his arm stretched out, okay, but put bars in front of it. I'm telling you, this is the day and time when no one can get away from this type of truth. Let me see if I can show you. Oh, I probably got it in the other phone. Yeah, I got it in the other phone. Okay, it might be in here though, if I can pull it out real quick. But there's an image of who Dr. Malachi York refers to as the true and living Messiah. Okay, it might be in one of the other books. If I wish I could find it real quick. I don't know where I put where the actual page is, but he called it the true and living Messiah. It was one of the statues on the land, and they're not letting me pull up these images, so I ain't gonna pull it up on my phone. Okay, but just imagine a man, all right, with an afro, who was stretched out with an ump behind him. And those of you who've been walking with me, you know that I've appeared with that same exact image. The only difference is I didn't have the afro, I had the locks. Are you with me? But on the Blood of the Lamb album cover, you can see, matter of fact, I'll be able to pull that up. On the Blood of the Lamb album cover, you can see that image of the one that was called by Dr. Malachi Z. York, the true and living image of Jesus Christ, or the true and living Jesus Christ. Okay? So what would possess, pay attention to my wording, what would possess Vanessa to place an image of Christ, okay, behind bars, okay? Because I told you, these are amber-like beings. They don't like to hear the name Jesus. So as soon as Pop was moving into Jesus, and he would see the same, so they trying to wink at him and say, I get what you're doing, Pop. He said, no, he was trying to teach people about that power and about that science. And if you didn't have that power or that science overstood, you were not going to reach the masses. You understand? And all this Abrahamic religion talk, you forget what Abraham or Abram was saying. Okay, father of many nations. You have to go and preach the everlasting good news. Okay, not the ghost spell. You have to be able to reverse it. All right, take them out of the ghosthood of the spookism and give them the good news. Elevate or elect those people and teach to all of the people what was being expressed by all of the ascended masters before we even got here. Okay, which is that old way of life or that ancient way of life that became renewed. All right, so you see this image right here. This is on my Blood of the Lamb album. You see this image right here? Okay, that is how it looked when they. I think I might have it on here. Do I have mine? Yes, actually, I have me doing it right here. Okay, they don't know what that means. They have no idea what it means. Anybody who's been walking, you should understand what the crossroad is and all of that by now. But you see this living Messiah, okay, on the Ankh, which is a sign of life, not death. All right? Ask yourself, what would possess somebody to put bars in front of that image? Okay, what would possess somebody to say this type of energy needs to be locked up? Okay, because they make a mistake. Their mistake is I invented this. Their mistake is I gave this pose. All right, in first time history, but that's not true. The truth is anyone who came with that same type of light, emerald light, all right, was able to identify with what this is. But everybody who didn't come with that light, they can't identify with it, which is why they make a living, all right, and make it a habit of bashing Christians or bashing Muslims and feeling in their heart, in their mind, that they're over them. You with me? So Pop was saying, these people have fallen, all right? They've lost their way. They become mortal, okay? And they're not able to ascend because of it. You will not be able to ascend with all of that hatred, all right? You will not be able to rise up without first realizing why the green light came through, all right? Yeah, you can play around with Moses or Atmos, okay? But at most, that's all you're going to have. Remember I told you, at most, this reality's height is fear. And notice Atmos calls himself the most high. Well, you're right. The higher you're going to get in that amber light is right up there underneath the foot of anyone who's standing with the heart chakra, okay, under their souls. Literally, the activation of the heart chakra happens when you rise up above it, okay, not beneath it. So you're right, because before El Qadir came through, all right, Moses was the highest one, remember? He was the most high. And everybody thought, oh, this is the person who knows the most knowledge or knows the most information. And then El Qadir came through and rectified and defied that old way.
This shit is amazing.
That was not working. Remember Tupac Amaru, listen, exactly. He said, see, the old way wasn't working. So it's on us to do what we have to do to survive. Okay, go beyond the ways that have not worked. So when El Qadir came through and said, look, here goes the new staff, Moses. We're going to give you a new way of life. Yeah, you've been given this. Yeah, you've been given that. But when we bring you this staff, now you can see, yes, there's a higher world beyond this amberlight world you've lived in. All right, so let me pull up something to show you something. This is in all the tablets going to back that up. We'll show you what's moving forward with that. Keep in mind, I'm telling people have lost their minds. All right? Tablet 1, Malachi Duck, incarnated, lo. This is chapter 19 of the Holy Tablets. Lo, I know you have wondered, where did I come from? Pay attention. Why did I come? And who am I? I descend to this plane, formless in form, a temple of the incarnated divinity to guide you. All right, let everybody who got an ear hear so you can get where we're going with this. All right, I descend to this plane, formless in form, a temple of the incarnated divinity to guide you. Circle around me, for like the sun, I am the axis. Didn't I give y'all the science of saying that there was something that had to be activated in the center of you? Even when I gave you the mantra, it said, I am centered. I am centered, or I am El Qatar. All right, El Qatar, or El Qatar. Okay, to say that I am the axis or the center, and you cannot access the higher planes without going through the weapon, through the center. So when I tell you, when you say the word access, you're saying the word access. Okay, where access will be denied if you deny the truth of life and the way. We get to that also. I'll tell you that there will be no one who can reach unto the Father without first going through the truth. All right, the life and Patarak, Dawu, never be open unto you to begin with. That's why I tell you when Matthew 27, all right, the one called Asa was on that cross, okay, something opened up, all right, to allow for his ghost to be let out, all right, in that ninth hour. And I broke down the whole science of that. So look what he said. From me comes what? Pure green light. Comes pure green light to warm your soul and to nourish your being. For I am the axis. He phase one teach the science of the green light. Yes, he did. Okay? But everybody else was laxing in that red light, amber, okay? Which they thought, I guess that's what they think I'm doing. Because they don't see that I've been building up. You even hear what they said on the video was interesting because the video was full of deception. And here's what I'm tell you something else you can pay attention to. It took 4 niggas to come together to say they were going to expose phase one. And the shit was an hour long. You know what I mean? 4 niggas didn't have an hour worth of shit to say because you think exposed, for how you saying it, is a fake talk about the man. But you couldn't do what the BOI sucker, all right, who was my biological father, did when he went on the Young Elder show, which is another reason why a lot of these people had an issue, because they don't like that Young Elder has been pushing me out more to more people. That irritated them also, because at one point in time, they claimed to be cool with Young Elder, all right, not letting it be known all of the things that they were saying behind the brother's face, okay, not letting it be known how they actually felt, but they revealed it and they continue to reveal it, all right? So they had an issue with that. But BOI, all right, my father, BOI Ray Love, as they call him, went on to the Young Elder show and asked a question. Why is phase one here? You understand? Yeah, you can talk about phase one, but why is he here? You know what I mean? Yeah, your whole it took 4 of y'all to come back and gossip. That's all y'all did. You came back and gossip. You lied on camera. And then I was literally sitting to myself, looking at it. I skimmed through it. And remember, I tell you, I can't listen to people's voice for a certain amount of time. I had to skim through it. But it was certain little points that I'm picking up. I said, he's lying. You can even tell. You just look at how there was a point in the video where Lightweight was like, so was saying, what do you say? I almost didn't want to even talk to the female. She was getting books from him. Look at Atmo's face when he said that. I mean, Atmos know that but what did he say? He didn't correct it. He said, yeah. He said, right. Why would you do that? Same way I give you the opportunity. I said, come on here and let it clear. Did you not get on the phone and apologize to me? Let the world know the truth. And that way, then we can rectify all of the deception. And then we rectify all of the deception and get all that straight the record out on all of the other bullshit that it came with. But he couldn't do that. You understand? So they think that they're on the level with me. When you didn't say that you were exposed, I'm waiting on something to be exposed still. What did you actually expose? Y'all got on there, you laughed like a bunch of clowns. Okay, you reminisce with each other because you're trauma bonding, because you couldn't victim. You understand? You couldn't even victim victim. You know what I mean? So you couldn't victim. So you come together and you trauma bond. Yet people are wondering what was actually exposed. We heard gossip. Okay, give us the breakdown. Why is phase one here? I'm giving you the breakdown why Manasseh is here. Manasseh is here to cause people to forget. Your name means to forget. Your name also means to cause people to forget. You understand? As a matter of fact, if you really knew the biblical scriptures, you would know Manasseh wasn't somebody that even the people who was writing the books fuck with. The kings didn't fuck with you. They called you an evil king. You know what I'm saying? They say, yo, this is the same one. You see this guy? They said, number one BS guy. They couldn't cuss. They said, see this guy? Number one BS guy. They said, this is the one who calls people to fall astray and worship under polytheism, okay, and put all these other idols up there. Damn, I think that's interesting. Because your claim to fame was not going to war with or calling these idols into the light and telling people to cast down the idols. No, your claim to fame was standing next to Italy Chopper, standing next to Son Walton, standing next to Dwight Howard, standing next to Angela Simmons. That was your claim to fame. You think we forget? Well, here's the thing. Not everybody's Vanessa to Vanessa. You know what I mean? So your claim to fame was off of star power, all right, without being able to transmute it or transmutate it to bring it to the true light. You just were standing there with them. Same thing with Rail Chosen and the rest of them. You would think that these people would have stepped forth and say, hey, Italy Chopper, okay, you can't just come in here and use spirituality to make a fucking album once and then go back to the same bullshit. Got the sisters walking around in their hands. No, y'all didn't do that. You made excuses. You made excuses for NLE Chopper saying that we have been genetically programmed as men to cheat. Okay, completely disregarding the willpower, all right, that would allow you to make a decision not to breach a contract or a protract with anybody. Okay, that's why I say you can't trust a nigga that's gonna cheat. Okay, if you're a man who cheats, well, you have to deal with that. You got to get that right. Okay, because you're telling us it's a different. They try to use the whole polygamy thing. It's all bullshit. Because in all actuality, when you make a protract or a deal, all right, or come to an agreement, both y'all supposed to be agreeable with somebody about anything. Your whole purpose of going into that is so that both people mutually can move forward in truth, not in deception. Okay? If this so-called cheating thing was just some animalistic nature that every man was just coming here with and we can't do anything about it, all right, and that's just how it's supposed to be, then women wouldn't get hurt when we do it. You understand? They would just understand. It's all that. That's just, you know what I mean? They walk in and be like, oh, okay, do you need help with anything? Y'all want something to drink? You know what I mean? No, it's something that is beyond human comprehension that the animals act this way and we act that way. That's just how it is. We have the ability to make a decision. We're not dogs, okay? But what's the first thing they want to call us? Dogs. The women are not bitches. We're big female dogs. What's the first thing you want to say? I got my bitch. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this is a bitch. Okay, we're bigger and stronger and faster and smarter, more intelligent, and have more probability of ascension than the beast called dog. Which is why Pop said, just flip it around. Okay, not dog, God. Okay, so nobody grabbed, he chopped about a hand and was like, yo, that's not true. Okay, first of all, if you're going to speak on procreation, then you will actually be starting with the women. You wouldn't be starting with the men. Okay, because we branched off from them. Scientifically, there's a mitochondrial Eve. I told you, not a mitochondrial Zakar, all right, not a mitochondrial Adam or Kadmon. Okay, it's an Eve, Hawa. Okay, it started out with double X chromosome. You with me? And so you have to also explain this, why the women cheat. You know what I mean? Men are just supposed to be why the women cheat. You with me? No, all of this is about decision, but nobody grabbed it. What did Girl Chosen do? They tried to make an excuse about it. You know what I mean? They said, I get what he's saying. Okay, you want to get what he's saying because you want to associate with a star. Where's your light? Where's your light? Do you have light? Or do you have the ability to take a false light, transmutate it, okay, shift it, all right, repackage it, and send it off, switch it, and we'll get into that science also. You with me? They didn't have the ability to do it. So, interestingly enough, this person. So, my question is, why is Faise One not able to be exposed? Why can't y'all read? You can't read, can you? But what is Faise One's name? His name is Omari. Okay, we go look at what does it mean. Omari, the highest, or high priest. Damn, I think he's living up to his name. You know what I'm saying? Okay, the highest priest. What is shaman? Medicine man, or a healer, or a seer. Okay, or interdimensional being. Whatever you want to call it. Somebody who can reach between the Akasha, or the astrals that are all around you, by the way. Not just in one place here or there. Okay, or somebody said the kingdom of heaven is over here. They don't believe them. Okay, astral is everywhere. Astral is the matrix, by the way. Okay, but again, they only want to say it's over here, it's over there. All right, so people say, I'm an Akashic Records reader. So everybody's reading the Akashic. Or actually, here's what it is. It's having access to the Akashic Records. Okay, everybody who can breathe in and out has the ability to access the Akashic Records. Okay, then you ask who can read it. That's a whole different conversation, but you're still able to access it. Okay, all right, you may not know what this particular word is saying because you didn't study that language or study that tone. All right, or you didn't go through that degree or receive that degree, but you're still accessing it. You with me? So why can't y'all read and say, who is this Faise One man? Where did he come from? All right, why is Faise and Faise all right there next to each other? Why do I see Faise One 8, 9, 10 years ago speaking on the same thing, fighting for the same thing, all right, building people up to the same thing? Why do I see a video when Faise One was in the 8th degree, all right, or 8th grade, with a no place for hate competition entry where it was saying Dr. Malachi York tribute? You know what I mean? And all we want to see is your track record of constantly, consistently, or persistently fighting on behalf of the master teacher and what he brought, which was the truth and that green light. Show us your record. No, we can't see that, but we can see the record of all the products. We can see the record of all the celebrity friends. We can see the record of all the times you threw a party on events. All right, we can see the record of you touring over here, you touring over there, you throwing this over here. That's all we see. Okay? And pause for a second. Right? When we ask, this Imam Asa, all right, Dr. Malachi York, okay, L was in the belly of the beast. What did you do to get him out? All right, what did you do to let people know, for one, that he was in there and that it was an injustice? Did you fight every day? Okay, he's fighting every day. He's under the frequencies of hell every day. Okay, having to awaken or rise up and change his mind every day to fight again. Every day, 23-hour lockdown. Every day, having to fight. And y'all are out here running free. You understand? And all we're asking is, while you were running free, what did you do? What did you do? Going on 22 years. Exactly. I see you. Going on 22 years. May 8th will be the 22nd year. What have you done? As a lot of you were older when he went in. You know what I'm saying? Older than me. What have you done? You played around with time. So what do they see? They see Faise One coming out and making it his business, taking it on as his business that people know the truth. Why? Because all you want is the truth. So we came giving you data, right? Or data. We came giving you data. All right? So that you would learn to want what we had to data. Did you know datum or data mean give? That means so Pop came giving you data, information. It literally means that, by the way. One of the definitions is information. Okay? It deals with computer science, all right? And it also deals with literally what people believe. Okay? So we came giving you data. All right? Datum, information, a giver. All right? So that you would learn to receive the data. Okay? Pops was doing something that was called packet switching.
Talk about it.
You know what I mean? People don't understand that. As he said, what's packet switching? All you people talking about the matrix, what is packet switching? He's like, what are you talking about? You don't know what packet is? Okay, do you know about circuit switching? He's like, what are you talking about? Okay, so you don't know what circuit switching, packet switching? So then maybe that's why you don't understand what he was doing. Maybe that's why you cannot replicate the works. Because you didn't understand what he was doing, how can you do it? Pop said, you're not trying to emulate me.
Come on.
Okay? You have to learn to think how he thought.
Come on.
So if you think how he thought with the mind that you have now, would not be the same situation because we're not living in the 60s and the 70s. Okay? So how do you spark a resurrection? There's already been a first and a second one in the Western Hemisphere. How can there be a third? We're waiting on y'all niggas. All right? What will you be able to bring forth that we can say this is new data? Okay, meaning before they brought this on a day-to-day basis, nobody knew that. So it's new. Okay, even though there were beings that had those degrees, okay, who among these people can bring forth a new resurrection? And if you're not your own star, all right, you don't have your own, not only gravitation pull, but your own gravitation repel. Okay, you have the law of attraction, law of repulsion. Malachi speaks about that in the Holy Tablets also. All right, how's that outdated? You mean to tell me the magnets don't work no motherfucking more? You know what I mean? This is what people say. Magnets don't work. You talk about magnetism in here. You know what I mean? The living soul. All right, the body doesn't work. You talk about the body in here. Okay? They haven't even come to pass yet. He talked about in here. Occurrences that have already happened and some haven't happened. He talked about that in here. You know what I mean? The Masonic sciences, all of it, he talked about that in here. You with me? So if you're not your own star, if you're not your own, what is being called celebrated entity or celestial entity, how are you going to bring anything to this plane that will cause for a resurrection? Or an erection toward Ray, okay, or Ray's erection, all right, like the obelisk needle was confused to be. You know what I mean? Where they say, look, even if you say obelisk, you're saying iblis, okay, which is the phallus, okay, by the way, we say obelisk phallus, if you look at it, the monument, okay, or the moment of the moon, that's already over with. I told you, look at the Asherah pose. Asherah was saying the sun, okay, not the moon, or the moment of the moon. We're beyond that, okay, so there's no more fallacy, meaning you're not going to fall, I see, okay, but if you continue to fall low, right, like Iblis did, then you will follow what you see. All right, and they say seeing is believing. So when you see something, just looking at it, you say, oh, I believe it, but you've been beguiled or be lied to. All right, you actually have to grasp the concept. All right, make out its tangibility. Okay, and then transmute that information, and then you should be able to transduce that light and give that same type of science to anybody on different walks of life, facing different directions in this reality. Okay, but stars do that. Gods do that. So you have to ask, is Faise One making noise? Is he blowing up these things, causing supernova type explosions? Okay, is he sending Dr. Malachi York's name every which way? Okay, is he fulfilling the prophecy that said the whole world will behold him? Okay, and the answer is yes. And then you look at their words and say, what have you done? What have you done? I heal people in your name. No, you open up stores and associated that store with the brand, okay, of Dr. Malachi York, the brand of Roof Back. And don't tell me Malachi didn't teach about branding, okay, because he had the whole teaching called The Strangest Secret. And he talks about being a salesperson, all of that, all throughout the teaching. Okay, marketing and everything, who not to offend, all that is being spoken of in The Strangest Secret. So you understand, so you associate yourself, align yourself with the brand because it's easier to sell now. And you got all these little minions up under you who don't know they're following the Jal or deceiver. All right? So all we asking is, okay, finally, y'all come together, finally, to bring people's attention, okay, to Faise One. Yet, the first opportunity you get to do it, you don't put Faise One behind bars. You put the image of Christ behind bars. Mm-hmm. You exposed yourself. I told you how to do it, silly goose, but you didn't listen. I said, if you want to expose Faise One, use green light. You use red light and expose yourself. You know what I mean? Because people are still wondering, well, then who's going to expose Faise One? Finally, you put the word finally. Said Faise One finally exposed. Showing that not only was there haste, there was anticipation. And it took 4 of you to do nothing but gossip. Gossip. Okay? Or sip amongst the ghosts. All right? Or grab some tea and sip amongst the ghosts. You know what I mean? Like the girls or gals do. It took 4 of y'all grown men to gal sip. And we're still waiting. Where's the exposure? All right? Because you didn't have the exposition. Faise One comes forth with the exposition. Damn, his name was Manasseh? Yes. It's been revealed. Damn, Manasseh means to forget? Yes. Damn, that's what you mean when you say these niggas that lost their mind? Yes, they all forgot. Why? Because they all mortals. Mortals. And what is mortus or mort or mord? It's a dead or mortus. Dead. Okay? And El is God. So they're coming up under the dead God or the God of the dead, which will explain to you why all the people ran to the order of Anpu or Anubis. You know what I mean? They couldn't decide. You know what I mean? Anu or Iblis. They couldn't figure it out. Say Anu, and they didn't know that you have to choose the side, amber or emerald. You understand? So they're dead gods or mortals, and they died. And that's why I told you in my teaching, you cannot die. I don't care what they're doing. You cannot die. They're trying to make it about me, but they don't have the green light. You know what I mean? So I'm going to put it on record again. I'm not going to have to say this 99 times, and they still won't get it. If you want to expose me, you got to use the green light. You cannot expose me without the green light. You with me? And then what they're going to do? They're going to touch the green light. Next thing you know, they're going to be helping us. They're going to be aiders of the light. They're going to be orators. And they're going to be able to speak the truth. The willing tongue. Remember I told you, the willing tongue speaks the truth. Okay? Remember how I put Manasseh and Atmos, I found Atmos say Mosul or Musa, okay, or Moses, who only had the Amberlight, by the way. You didn't have enough. You had to wait, and Al-Qadir, the green one, had to raise you up. So yeah, you're the most high of the Amberlight reality. You know what I mean? But you have to come up there. Like that's why you only people come on the 5% of thing. And I'm like, there. And then I put on one of the teachings after I got off live. Pops started speaking and said they're upset with him. The 5%ers are upset with him. I can't make this up. People said they was upset with him because he finally put all the stuff in the book and showed people what he was really speaking about. You know what I mean? And mentioned clarity and everything. That's how it moves. You know what I mean? So you have to ask yourself, when are you going to be able to grasp that green light to be able to actually expose? You don't have the exposition. Exposition, when we're dealing with stories, all right, because that's all these people think these stories until you go and explore and figure out what's been uncovered for yourself and tangibly grasp the thing. Okay, instead of just be holding it or acting like you're holding it, really. All right, or holding it, because you're not be holding it. To be holding is actually be holding it. You know what I mean? Holding it, so you're not actually holding it, you're going against holding it. You know what I mean? So these people brought stories. That's all. You didn't say yourself a story. You look at the title, it says a story. You know what I mean? But you don't have an exposition. Exposition is to say you're bringing forth background or concealed, all right, or arcanum, secret information that people would not have known, all right? But then you listen to what they were saying. First of all, Manasseh came forth and said he told everybody don't contact Phase One. Remember I was telling y'all, I said out of nowhere, nobody phones worked when the situation went down. Nobody phones worked, right? As soon as the sister had blocked me and Beyond 5D had unfollowed me, it happened simultaneously. Then everybody went offline. You know what I mean? And I told him, I said, that was weird. He came forth, opening the mouth ceremony, and said, I told people don't contact him. And y'all have to ask yourself, all right, if this was between me and whoever the 5D gen is, okay, then what would cause this person who is supposed to be a brother or Jamal of Phase One to tell everybody, don't contact him, don't let him contact you? You understand? How did it go from we need you, we can't lose with you, to yo, nobody contacted? He was of the gen. He was telling people, yo, stray away from him. And these people didn't have their own mind to be able to say why. He hasn't done anything to me. There have been people who brought certain things, grievances, and all kind of stuff. And people have witnessed this about how they feel about this person, that person. If that person hasn't done this to me, I have no reason to feel how you feel about that person. You know what I mean? Now, the person might be a snake. You put me on go about the fact that he might be a snake. Okay, cool, but he ain't snake me. All right, and I haven't witnessed any snake motions. You understand? But that's what people don't have. They don't have the ability to say, okay, you have an issue with this person. Okay? I don't have to. You with me? So therein tells the truth, not therein lies. Therein tells the truth about the deception. They came forth and were saying a lot of things. They don't even realize it was very telling about who and what they are and who they're rocking with to drag on. Okay, that tale is going to drag on. That's why when you listen to it, it's like they tell their story is just dragging on. All right, you have to ask, what was the takeaway? All right, so the issue, you say Phase One was aggravating. I told you, yeah, of course, emerald light aggravates amber light. They won't tell you why they were aggravated. You know what I mean? Here's another thing. They tried to make it seem like I was waking up at 8 a.m. blasting music. No, SG Hazel. This is the word Hazel. Hazel. Okay, like Hitler. All right, or Hitler. Hayes. Like Rod Hayes. I told you, pay attention to that. He's dealing with a flame. Okay? You see, SG Hazel, the kid Hazel, he asked me to play my music. Okay, because he had already heard about me and he had prepared some beats and put the 99 attributes of the love tone behind one of the beats and other teachings and DNA things. I put some other things from Dr. Malachi. He goes meditation, all right, and made them into beats. Okay, if I'm making this up, then why do I have the beats? I can pull them up. They're in my records. I have the beats still. He had to explain, well, why did you send Phase One beats? That's what we were playing the music. And there was no blaring. And it wasn't 8 a.m. You know what I mean? So, no, the lady who was over the Airbnb called because they were blasting music. And around that same time, I was wondering to myself, why is everybody playing this music when we would normally be playing Dr. Malachi York's music for his birthday celebration? You know what I mean? Why are they playing all this other, this had nothing to do with it. So when I told you, the lady kept calling. You know what I mean? If there was an issue in Phase One who's not over the event, was playing loud music, that lady wouldn't have been able to keep calling. The first time the lady would have called, they would have told me, hey, you got to turn that down or turn it off. All right, they're complaining. They're talking about they're going to put us out. No, y'all kept telling that lady she ain't had nothing to worry about. She was tripping. She was bugging. Next thing you know, she called the police on y'all. You know what I'm saying? But they keep pushing the narrative. So my thing is, look, you can deal with it. Deal with it truthfully. All right, but again, they lost their mind. They lost that, which is the willing. Remember, willing is will, Mashiach. Mashiach. You can't be a Mashiach, a Messiah, or Messiah, all right, or somebody who's designated, keyword sign, designated, okay, to a particular movement or organization to bring all these organizations together. All right, I told you, organs can't function by themselves. All right, so we don't need a whole bunch of organizations. We need a body, all right, or an entity, a being, okay, or a oneness, a unification. You can't do that if you can't speak the truth. You with me? So ask them, why did y'all put the image of Jesus, not the image of Faise One? That's not him. That was the image of Yeshua. That's the image that's is in these books by Dr. Malachi York. That's the image of one of the statues that was on the land, on Tunnel Ring. Why did you put bars in front of it? Okay? It seems to me that you're making a statement that your soul may not have been aware you were making. Okay? Because you also celebrated when Dr. Malachi York was arrested. All right? And you people have eaten off of his being imprisoned. And we've been watching you. We see all of that. You know, I was around. People didn't know why I was around. Notice I have not been around those people. Like I explained in my music, I ain't been around none of you clowns. Okay? Because we don't hang around Amber. All right? But the emerald is going to push forth and show. Okay? So they can't make it up. I'm going to read something else from this, and then we keep going in the bill. All right? But I want to point that out. Because the whole point of it was they say they're exposing, but they didn't have an exposition. You go listen to the 19 Keys Exposed and all the other exposures, and you're going to learn something. Okay, ask yourself if you watch or view any of these videos, people talking about exposing, consension. Ask, what did you learn about Faise One? What did you learn about why Faise One is here? Go back to where my dad came out and said, "Why is Faise One here?" and broke down the whole thing. That's how we do. You know what I mean? We can show you all the things, the background, the foreground, the middle ground of what the story is, and say, "Look, this is why Jabril Muhammad is named Jabril Muhammad, because Jabril brought the 19 keys to Muhammad." And I broke down that whole thing, okay, from bottom to top, top to bottom. Expose it, okay? That's an exposition, all right? But they're not remembering. To say X is like exit or to come out of something, okay? And to say pose is to say a position or something. These people are coming out of the position that they were in, all right, and they're actually being put forth. That's why I said we're not calling them out alone, we're calling them forth, all right? They expose themselves. Watch this. People say, here we go, watch. Revolve around me, I feel my love, and feed off of my wisdom. For in me, you will find what? Overstanding. Let's say it again. For in me, it's right here, you will find overstanding. People say I am a liar and a blasphemer, but those who know me know I speak nothing but the truth. Y'all hearing this? This is Malachi York's words. It's outdated. Listen, I came to guide you back on the right path, the path of right knowledge, right wisdom, right overstanding, and right reasoning. Okay? And he goes into the green tree. The creation of the green tree. Anu, Elion, Elion, El created a green tree with 4 branches for the 4 sciences and called it the tree of certainty. All right, Shajar at El. All right, Yakin Lot tree, or the green tree. Then he created my light, Melachizedek, in a veil of green, emerald, whose true light is violet. What light? Pop, say it again. Whose true light, okay, is violet at the tip of the prism, like the wing of the peacock, and placed it on that tree. So my light said, Subhanallah, who is Anu, Elion, Elion, El. Okay? So this is what Pop is saying. That's not outdated. That's why I told you. We're going through the green light. We're bringing forth El Qadir's rhythm, not Al Gore's rhythm. All right? Why do they want everybody in Al Gore's rhythm?
Come on.
Okay? First of all, the Al Gore rhythm, I'm not saying it like that for no reason. Because interestingly enough, it was Al Gore who had his own rhythm or his own plan. All right, which was a problem that he had, and he had to solve it, which was the algorithm that's used for that, by the way. It's supposed to be solving a problem. A lot of people are using this to say there's some things moving around, all right, to be put in front of people and push out certain things, but it's supposed to be solving the problem. Look at this. Al Gore, it was 1994 through like 1997, leading up to 2000, that was a real big thing, okay? He was trying to make sure that all of the children were coming up under the net, all right? He was literally saying, it was him and Bill Clinton. He said, they had a thing called Net Day. All right. He said, we want all of the children to be online. Okay. Because a lot of people were fighting against the internet. Okay. Which at one point in time was the iPod net. Okay. It was literally like saying apart. All right. Yeah. The iPod net. And then you had the internet. And then you had the what became the World Wide Web. You with me? So a lot of people were saying, yo, we don't want our children to be trapped in this net. Whether it's the ARPANET, whether it's the internet, all right, or whatever. ARPANET is what it was called, all right? Go look it up. All right, this is Bob Taylor, some other motherfuckers that was around that, okay? And they had really it was for scientists. That's what it originally started for, scientists and researchers to be able to trade information with each other. You know what I mean? But that's at least what they say. But in all actuality, that internet plan was to say everybody enter into the net, okay? And then when they started introducing this to all these different districts and these people's lands and communities, okay, it became a conglomerate or a network, okay, where everybody was working in the net. And they said, well, let's put the whole world in this web instead of World Wide Web. You know what I mean? So people say, yo, we don't want our children on it. Because around the time Dr. Malachi York spoke about this and Dr. York versus the computer, he said there was a lot of pornography, okay, that was being accessed by young children. Okay, they even had child pornography on all of these sites, pushing it. They had devil names for these programs, okay? And the parents were getting concerned about that. They said, yo, we don't want our children on whatever this shit is. So they had Al Gore, who was the vice president around that time, all right, who wound up running for president, okay, pushing literally for Al Gore's rhythm, or the red light rhythm. How you know it's the red light rhythm? Because they were trying to beat the Y2K. And then by the year 2000, they wanted all the children, the innocent ones, to come up under the red light. And you can find that red light in a movie called 2001 Space Odyssey. Okay, 2001 Space, all right, meaning the time frame, Odyssey, all right, where they were fighting even with Bill Gates since 1985 for a very specific window. Okay, it goes around to the word equinox. Okay, a very specific window to try to lengthen and buy more time for the moon cycle. You understand? And they had a movie, 2001 Space Odyssey, with a being called Hal, Hal, okay, which is like to say, hey, loud. And he was a red amber-like being, okay? Why were all of the AI, all right, artificial, meaning they're not, or they aren't official intelligence, what people really, if you could break it down, all right? Why were these AI or artificial beings, okay, artificial intelligence beings all coming with the red light? Even when the Sentience movie came out, I, Robot, all right, said I, Robot. All right, meaning I know, I'm aware, I'm sentient of the fact I have sentience, of the fact that I am a robot or a creation of mankind. They had red light when they finally activated. That's the most high, listen, most high, Moses, M-O-S-E, high, that they could reach. Why would Moses part in the Red Sea? Tell him that. Ask my aunt Moses that. So why was Moses part in the Red Sea? He don't know. What's the difference between the Red Sea and the Green Sea? He don't know. All right, tell us about where the two seas meet. He don't know. They tell us the difference between El Qadir's staff, all right, and El Gore, or the red one. When you say Gore, Gore brings you around to the word bloody, which is red. Okay, Al Gore's rhythm versus El Qadir's rhythm. Tell us the difference. He don't know. Because he wasn't given that. He didn't receive that. He don't fuck with his father's teaching. And he forget his father had a movement. All right, it's called the suns, lights, stars. All right, of the green lights. Okay, walking in the order of El Qadir, healing the world. Remember, it was Michael that y'all was going to say, heal the world. All right, and telling people, heal the world. You have to bring that green Malachi lights, like malachite stone. Okay, malachite is used to heal. And when you put that I-T-E on the word, for all of you who are walking, you should know that suffix is to say that you're walking in the order of following, okay, or being led by whatever that is. So malachite, all right, anybody who was a malachite, who actually walked with Pops, you would have had that green light movement in hand by now. And you would have been helping us to push that instead of putting red letters around anyone's name that's associated with that green light, okay, and saying that you wanted to track that same living soul, living. Why you say living? Because living is Eve, and Eve was Hawa, and Hawa was Hayat. The same way we say, I am Hayat, or Nuki Hayat Matwa. All right, say, I am a life wave. Okay, Hayat and Hawa are the same. Hawa is the green light. You understand? And Haya was saying living. And remember, we had to remind Zakar, Adam. We had the Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. All right, genealogy of Isis, chapter 2, verse 7. 2 plus 7 equals 9. Okay, we formed Adam, Zakar, out of the dust. We pulled him out of the dust of the ground, Adam. Okay, breathe into him, Ki. Okay, Ki. All right, Ka. Remember, go back and read Ikra. Okay, Muhammad. Go back and read these words, the Torah. Go study the Torah and the Ra. All right, we gave him a key. And with that key, he was supposed to be able to access Eve, which is living. Go look at what Eve means in Hebrew. All right, and you should find that it means living. So what does Zakar mean? Zakar means to remember. Okay, Zakar is another word for Adam. Go look these things up. Okay, so Zakar had to be reminded. I asked Atmos in front of everybody. I said, okay, you're about to say this, so you break off from Islam. Why was Al-Quran sent to the people? He didn't know. Or at least he didn't speak it. Okay, it was sent as a reminder. That's why it was sent, to remind people that they might remember, become members of the light again. Don't be the first to ignore our signs, these revelations. Okay? So you have to ask them, what are these people bringing forth that even goes beyond religion? 5%, they're not beyond religion. In a million ways, that is a religion. That's not beyond religion. Okay? And you cannot tell me that just Wu Sabat, all right, as you're presenting it, or just Wu Nuwa, as you're presenting it, is beyond religion. Okay? Because if you haven't grasped what it means to have the science of Nuwupu, all right, then you're just falling into a religion. Okay? That's why he gave you the right knowledge and said, don't believe me, go check it out. Correct. Verify. Say that this checks out. this is correct. We need this. We have to rectify the core, correct. Y'all hear me? See how we can do that? We can look at any word, any spell, and show you why. We can look at anybody's name nominally, okay, and say this is why they've appeared with this name and this tone, okay, because we've been reminded already. Our mind already operates in a light, okay? And if you ever fell astray, like Music Soul Child said in the love song, okay, those who have faith, iman, okay, it sounds phonetically imam. Those who have faith in you sometimes fall astray. Okay, all you had to do was repent. What does repent mean? They don't know what it means. You say the word repent to people like Manasseh and Atmos, and they'll say, "Oh, he's still on the Abrahamic religion," but they don't know the etymology. Okay, Edom, Edomology. What does ology mean? It means to study something. What is Edom? It means the groundwork, ground. So you study the root or the origin. Okay, meaning what is the information? Gene. Okay, that will bring me to the ori, light, or my light. The origin of this word. Okay, which if you flip word around, you get draw. All right, what do they mean when they drove this out? Or when they gave us these marks? Okay, or these signs or these tokens. So when you go into the etymology of a word or the ground workings of a word, then you know how it was built up. So ask, what's the etymology of repent? They don't know. They don't know. They think repent just to say get on your knees and ask God for forgiveness. But you will find that repent literally meant to change your mind. Or go find the word shub. Shub. Okay? It means to switch your path, to reroute the self. Go look these things up. Okay? So when you change your mind, that doesn't mean you're praying to some white Jesus. You're left behind. You know what I mean? How you gonna talk about the Abraham religion and you don't know about all the nations? Okay, you don't see the word nation and see life there? And how get them all together. All of these people from these different walks of life had to come together, hold fast to the rope all together to get connected back to the vine. You say divine and don't hear the word vine in it. You know what I'm saying? So all of this already broken down. So yeah, people have to repent. If you've fallen astray, you repent. Go listen to my song Dungeon Cry, and you're gonna see something. All right, pay attention to the fact that the Dungeon Cry letters are in red, and that there are bars in front of Faise One. Okay, and he's looking out. And you're going to hear it as soon as it comes on. Ever heard the dungeon cry? All right? Tears of love and stone want to disown the prisoner inside. Why would he put the dungeon cry in red letters? And what did the bars represent? And why did Manasseh come around and put the bars in front of the Christ image? And why did he use the red glow around the letters? Here's the science. The dungeon is Colorado, color red. So I put it in the red letters. And those bars, if you notice, were open. Okay? There is no roof to the bars. It's open. And I've been saying, come home, Pop. And when you see me put the come home, Pop post up, what light color do you see associated with that post? Literally the green light. And I told everybody, drop your green lights. Drop your green lights. Pop, come home. Tell Pop, it's time to come home. Listen, Pop, they don't love you. You know what I mean? Oh, you know they don't love you. You know, and you know who does love you. And to love you is to love the Most High.
Crazy. This is 2024. And I said this on live. And then Pop came around and put out an update at the end of 2024. And he said, I want all of y'all to know, all of you humanoids to know that I know y'all don't love me. Y'all never love me. He said that you know what I'm explaining to you? Now look, whoever you are, here's how we're gonna play. You can come up here and talk to me, right? Because I know you don't know no better. You can either come up here and talk to me, or I'm gonna do you a favor and remove you forever. You at a crossroad. What do you want to do? If you're so delusional to the point where you got to make accounts and come back, that means that you're obsessed with the light that you're saying is amber, and I can't help you there. So here's what you can do, Nala, and you don't have long to make the decision. You can come up here and talk to me, or I won't even know you exist no more. Which one do you want to do? No, you have to make a decision now. You're either going to come up here and speak to me, or I never want to know you exist. I will forget by tomorrow. You'll join the rest of the banished ones that they don't exist to me. They'll still exist wherever you exist. But you have a decision to make. Which one is it going to be? You going to come up here and talk to me? No? All right. So I'm about to send you this request. Here's what's about to happen. I'm going to send you this request. Get somewhere comfortable. You don't have to have the screen on. You can sit the phone down and talk to me. But now you have to talk to me. This is what's about to happen. If you don't speak to me, you're banished. It's that simple. Because you said, I'm always watching. No, you don't have to do none of that. Here's what's about to happen. I'm about to send you this request. If it says this person declined, I'm blocking you. and I don't even care. You can do whatever happens. Okay, how you doing?
This LifeWave nigga ain't nobody studying you. You a slanderer, nigga. All you do is hate on people all the time.
If you
You a
can
hater. You
speak,
a hater.
if you can speak,
You a hater. You a
listen.
hater.
Just
Just
if
face
you can
it.
speak,
You crashing
if
out,
you can
family.
speak,
This
then
not the
I'll
way.
let you speak. Yeah, I'll let you speak, but
You
you
are
got to
not
be able
about
to.
the
You
green
got to
light.
be in
You
position to
know
speak.
nothing about the green light.
Listen,
You know
you
nothing
can only
about that.
speak. You
Faith,
got okay. This
you
is how
know
we're gonna do
nothing.
it.
You diss
I'll let you speak.
everybody. You
I'll
diss
let you speak, but
Iris.
you got to be
You
able to
diss
have a
Amos. You
conversation.
diss Rashad
I'll
Jamal.
let you
You was
speak.
not for
I
us.
will let you speak, but you got to be able to have a conversation. I didn't even kick you. So I don't know what happened to you then. Yeah, I was gonna let you speak, but you gotta be able to have a conversation. No, that was lightweight. Remember, you got people in here, and some people who like be trying to act like they rocking with me. You got people in here that when I go live, because this is a replay, so he might think I was coming on here to talk about him. I didn't come on here to talk about him. We were on here talking about Rashad, and I pressed this because we were speaking about people that became sad or forgetful ones. But you got people in here who send the live to LifeWave for that reason. If his name get mentioned like that, they'll act like they're around and listening, but they want the drama. And it's a lot of y'all that claim y'all rocking with me that do stuff like that and think I don't know. Y'all want the drama part. You get this man all worked up. He know he don't need to be getting worked up. Why would y'all do that to the man? And then I said, okay, since you came in as Nala, all right, well, you got called forth. And he's like, no, I don't want to interrupt you. I'm sorry. No, don't be sorry. That's so weird and confusing. Come on up here and talk. And they're like, this is LifeWave. And then you just, what did you even say? You didn't even get an opportunity. And I said, okay, I'm going to let you speak. And I didn't even kick him. I didn't even kick him. That's so weird, right? It just cut him. I didn't even kick him out. I said, look, okay. I was about to. I said, but you know what? I said, you want to speak? I'll let you speak. But you got to be able to, like, we have to be able to have this conversation. I'm way too grown to be screaming at the screen. Can't nobody understand what we're saying. You got to be able to talk. Yeah, I don't know nothing about that. How are y'all able to tell me what LifeWave posted? You see what I'm saying? Remember when all this shit went down? I was like, we don't even associate with, I don't know nothing about what Uma's saying. So many people be trying to come and tell. I can't even hear her. She don't exist to me. Listen, whatever she got going on with Pops, that's Pops gonna handle that however he handle that. He already know what's moving. I don't have nothing to do with her. Why people still be trying to come and tell? I said, I've been told people, ain't no way you're gonna be able to come and tell me what Uma got going on when I said everybody block her. Ain't no way you be able to tell me what most of them got going on, everybody block. These people have not existed to me since that day. It's been damn near a year. I don't understand why you would be over there. No, I didn't. Because what you have to understand what I'm saying to you. Why would I know that? Why would I know that? Did I come on here and talk about that? Did I come on here and say, let's get this cleared up? What lightweight? Why would I need to do that? Listen, I'll tell you this. They came for me, I wasn't touched. People might want to be careful with what they doing is showing up in your life, what you doing. Stuff you put your hands on backfiring, literally. Niggas want to be careful. You get what I'm explaining to you? We had two different stories come back. One, the son evaded. The other, the son was touched. You can't touch the anointed. Well, I wasn't touched. Them niggas want to be calm. Like, and then I say, okay, if it's not the statement that the Nala character, who's I guess lightweight, was making it is amber light because it's angry, they're not understanding it's a replay, right? Then they get up here and what do they exemplify? No composure. What I told y'all, you will be tested on the composure of Shiva. You will be tested on the love of Christ. You will be tested on the discipline of Muhammad. Right now, y'all going through the discipline of Muhammad test who are on this fast. How many of y'all still making it? It's only day 5. It'll be done before you know it. You'll have all the benefits and everything. Imagine if every day you got another $1 million. That's what this is. You building wealth with this. You know what I mean? When you eat, it's gonna be different. It's gonna be a celebratory meal. It ain't even gonna be just you eating how you would normally eat. Y'all know I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm here. I'm here. What Kevin say? Kevin get like fasted. I ain't even hungry. Next. I'm like, this nigga hard. That nigga care hard, bro. That nigga said fasting. I ain't even hungry. Next. That nigga made a decision while he was rapping. You know what I'm saying? So people going through different tests. You know, I don't know. I feel for people like Life Wave because, ooh, they running up on a iffy part of the clock. They running on the iffy. That's an iffy part. It got to feel crazy, but you didn't have to experience that. It got to be crazy not welcome in the garden. But you ain't have to go through that. You could have stood on truth. You could have been right here. Remember the song, what is it, Empty E-Way Out, right? You could have been here. You know what I'm saying? Dude could have been here. The crew could have been here. What do you say? She too could have been here. A lot of folks who could have been right here with me. Why you got to sneak around in the behind it? You done made 17 accounts. All of them got blocked. And now this one's going to get blocked. Well, you could have opened the door just then and say, listen, I want to speak the truth. But you can't. You ain't even composed enough to sit still. You can't even hear. And then I didn't even kick him from the line. They just clipped it. They gave him the opportunity. Yeah, this is how it be happening. Windows will open up for you. You think it's for me. It ain't for me. It's for you. You had the opportunity right then. Just sit still for a second. See what's moving. Man, you got to be careful. There's a lot moving. People need to be careful. They need to be careful. You said the orange juice get you through hell. Yeah. I just asked one of the sisters to get some what you call it? Order some pinto beans. And I took the juice, the little juice shit in the pinto bean, pour that shit in a bowl, and convince myself I am eating soup. I convinced myself, nigga eating some veggie water. I warmed it up in the microwave. I'm chewing. I'm like, I am eating soup. You know what I mean? Shit, we gonna make it through this bitch. You know what I mean? I'll pour the bitch out. One of the pinto beans fell in there. A voice was like, I bet you won't. I said, I bet I won't too. I rebuke you. One pinto bean fuck up the whole motion. I wish I would let that bitch ass pinto bean. Shit. We gonna make it through this. It ain't even, right now, it ain't even tough. I'm keeping myself busy. I'm just keeping myself busy. Gotta be busy with this shit. Y'all know when ain't got nothing to eat, you go to sleep. I stay busy. I can't go to sleep. Hey man, check it out. Hear what I'm be saying. Stay up and keep watch. The watchtower showed up with the crown on top. Stay up and keep watch. You in the middle of a fast. Y'all understand how beautiful that is? And y'all fasting together. You don't see that? That pinto water might be crazy, but I had. Look, y'all think I be just talking. Look, ain't they go the little spoon, they go the bowl. And you can't really see that shit, but shit, y'all think I just be talking. I sat here and ate water, nigga. You know what I mean? We gonna make it through this bitch. Might as well, cause you know what's happening. All right, what's the day 5? How many of y'all done lost weight? Come on now, bear witness. I'm not talking about to me. How many of y'all done lost weight? You know what I mean? How many of y'all done slimmed down a little bit now? Especially y'all doing them 90s. You gonna come out there bit cocky as hell, both in confidence and in body. For sure. You slimming down. You say you look sick. Nah, you good. You don't look sick. You don't look sick. I bet you. Listen. I bet you look your build, because that's what fasting do. Fasting pull you to your size. I bet you look your build. I bet you do. I dare you, after you break your fast, when you go to breaking it fast, I dare you to get on beans. You know what I'm saying? I dare you to, and fruit. Watch what happens for you. Even if you do your grains and all that starch, listen, make sure you eat them beans. I don't know why that's for you, but that's for you. Watch what happens. You know what I mean? Now, I bet you look your bill. You look sick. Nah, all of y'all have a designated weight in your genes for all of your years. And the food that we've been taught to eat, the lifestyle we've been tricked into, it affects that build and it throws us off. And I'm telling y'all, fast to help you get back to it. It help you get back to it. I've always been a slim built, muscular motherfucker. Always. I came out the womb like that. Had a bench press. My homie was like, that's what that extra weight was. I came in this bitch with horse legs. Always been like that. Y'all ain't seen me when I was 12. It wasn't nothing to play with. So shit. I was looking at my dad. I love my dad. But I be looking at my dad sometimes. He getting the dad body and shit. I'm like, I don't got no children. I can't do that type of shit. What the hell I look like? So shit, it fast is personal. I mean, y'all doing push-ups just to do them. I'm doing the push-ups like, I'll be damned. I'll be. That's my motivation. I push-ups, shit, me. That's what I listen to motivate myself. That's all I hear. Shit, me. Shit, nigga. And crying like that motherfucker in the interview movie. I am not my father. Shit. I'm motivated. I'm gonna make through this bitch. It's day 5 and I'm okay, cool. Day 6, they'll fuck around and let day 9 be the one I feel. I ain't felt none of this shit. How many people ain't felt it yet? I'm not saying you're gonna feel it. I ain't jinxing you. But I ain't even felt this shit. This shit don't even feel like nothing. I'm just like, okay, this shit regular. And y'all know, again, I ain't gonna cheat you. I'm right here with you. Water, I just told you I drank some pinto bean juice. Straight out the can. It's bad. It's bad. But I'm making it. Shit, nigga had some other juice. I don't know what the fuck. What the bottle at? I don't even know what the fuck that shit was called, but it was juice. Some berry shit. I'm making it. I don't know what the fuck juice it was. What flavor? Shit. Break down the reason you doing a 9-day fast if you could again for me because I missed it. Nah, I'll do it afterwards. Ain't feel it until the last 2. Yeah, last time I know day 8 and 9 had me in my bed. My wife was like, you can do this. You got this. Shit. You know you going through a motherfucker got to motivate you just to be. Like, you ain't lifting weights or nothing. Got motherfuckers sitting there motivating you. Like, you can do this. One more day. We had to do but 9 reps. You was in there. And it is worse for me because I'm the motherfucking chief and shit of it. I gotta finish this shit. Motherfucker be looking at me sideways. And then, you know what I mean? If I wasn't to finish it, motherfuckers be like, oh, he ain't finished. Let me not finish. So like, oh, there's that. Shit, I gotta do this shit. I did the last one. I'm about to do this one. You would know if I didn't do it. You would know. I've been like, shit. But nah, it ain't even been like that. The last one I felt there, I'm like, we got to do this. It's for a reason. I may not understand it all. We got to do this. And this one, I'm like, and y'all have to understand, why the fuck would I want to do this? I love to eat. What the hell? You crazy as hell. Why the fuck would I want to do this shit, bro? Niggas don't understand. Chosen ain't some shit you wake up like, yes. Chosen, you waking up like, man, damn. Here I go being chosen again. That shit ain't fun. I mean, it get fun, but most of the time, that shit is hell. I'd rather go through hell now than later. How about that? I'd rather go through hell now than later. You be getting mad at motherfuckers that just be enjoying shit. You mean mug around the corner, motherfucker just eating. They ain't even do shit to you. They just doing what they regularly programmed to do. You envying them and shit. Yeah, you might as well keep, man, we about to be day 6. A lot of this we done did together on live. Shit, I think I want to teach y'all and shit, and I just want to survive. I ain't trying. I don't even fuck with y'all like that. I just want to. I need some shit. I gotta make it. It's helping. He said he must love us, man. I'm hungry. I ain't even gonna hold you though. I'm not even hungry. That's amazing. It's been 5 days, y'all, and I'm not hungry. Like I'm not experiencing headaches. I'm not nauseous. I promise you, it's weird. Today I might have had like maybe 5 minutes where I'm like, okay, what is about to be? I just got up and moved around. I don't feel it. And I was just wondering to myself when I was ingesting my Pinto water, I'm like, how many days could I really do? If I can go 5, I'm not even feeling nothing. So you see the difference? If I weren't fasting, I would have been hungry. Ain't that interesting? If I wasn't fasting, I would have been hungry. But now that I'm not eating, I'm not even hungry. And I have a goal. So I know when I can decide to be hungry again. This is weird, ain't it? Imagine if people did that with anything they were dealing with, addictions, all of that. What if they just decided? Then their brain would be like, okay, I have room to transform and repent. You know what I mean? I thought I was the only one. Yeah, you ain't the only one. If you ain't feeling it, you ain't the only one. Shit playing mind game, yeah. Hey, I don't feel it. Not yet. I mean, it could happen. But I'm just like, bring it on. Day 6, bring it on. That's how I feel. Especially with these push-ups and lifting. I just feel like bring it on. I don't feel like, oh, another one. And then I'm already like grateful, right? I done saved up some money and everything. I'm already grateful for like how I'm gonna eat. I'm grateful for the way I'm gonna break the fast. And I have to think more intently about it because, you know, I've broken the fast with like mellow mushroom pieces before. They got that like veggie shit, that vegan shit. Ugh. I'm not trying to speak negatively just in case people love that, because you might love it. I don't know. I had tried that shit maybe too many times, but I tried to break with that, and I'm like, bro, I can't even finish this shit. This shit feel icky. So you know, I would advise y'all to, like, when you think about how your meal gonna be, don't just think about the meal. Think about the gratitude associated with consuming the meal. Think about, you know, what you're gonna be doing, whether you're gonna be watching a movie, talking to family, whatever. Where you're gonna be eating at. You got a girl, whatever, y'all going out to eat, whatever. But you have to like remember that your meal is you congratulating yourself for being disciplined. You know you can eat. That's the beautiful part. Same thing with beings like myself. We know we can leave. That's the beautiful part. We stay to help. We know we can go. We know we can eat. We know we can do. It's the fact that you stayed the course. You stayed the course. Now, for those who may be on here like looking sad and shit because you ain't finished, you right here sitting here eating as we speak. I'm not speaking against you because you're still in that 9-day span. You know you can still pick up tomorrow. Some of y'all might have given up, like, okay, I'm just gonna keep back. I'm gonna get back to eating. You might have stopped on day 3 or day 2. You know you still in a 9-day span. You can start tomorrow and do 6 day, 7 day, 8 day, 9 day. You can still have 4 days under your belt. You with me? So it's a beautiful thing. That was weird. I don't know. I think they might have did that for him. Lightweight who just came through here, I think they might have done that. That might have been an opportunity for him. Because they are about to hit it. They were like, no, don't hit it. And I didn't remove him. I exited that out. I said, okay, this is what we about to do. And he wouldn't stop talking. I think they might have just given him an opportunity. But he wouldn't stop speaking. So he missed it. Everybody has to choose. Ain't that right, Omari? Tua? Everybody has to choose. Oh yeah, my bad. I'm supposed to be dropping another album, y'all. I'm supposed to be dropping. It's called Float. Shout out to Float. I'm supposed to be dropping this album on what was it? Mother's Day. I think it's May 12th this year. What day is they said this shit was? Which one is it? May 10th? May 12th? May 11th. So that should be coming too. For those of y'all who may be wondering. All right. But what should I finish this shit? Cause that was interesting. It's a real beautiful teaching. So it's called Y'all Have Lost Y'all Damn Mind on YouTube. You got to go to Faise One Live archive to see it. All right, let me see if there's anything else to be played with it. And then.
And to love the Most High is to care about the future. And to care about the future is to consider the children. All right, but if you don't consider the children and be on the pro side, all right, when it comes to your future, all right, then everything you're doing is going to be destructive and mindless or forgetful. And you come out with this mindless behavior. You have lost your mind. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, only way to be reminded, only way to change your mind at that point in time is to repent. So you'll hear me say, tears of love and stone want to disown the prisoner inside. Even the prison walls in Colorado at Max are saying, we don't want to hold Malachi. Even the prison walls are breathing through the night and getting ready to cough him up and say, we like the 3 days, all right, in the well. Okay, before the well spits it up, say, yo, these rib cages, these walls, these cell poles or bars are saying, we cannot hold this man. All right, it is not righteous. Listen, it is not Sadek or Zodak for us to hold this man any longer. You understand? So I say, even the prison is crying to release him. All right, let Issa go. You with me? Because now it's time for people to finally behold the true light. But you won't be there to behold the true light unless you climbed up that ladder to be in the upper room when that time comes. Because he didn't come to everybody and say, look, y'all, he only came to us who were in the upper room. You understand? Or those who can access the upper room. Mm-hmm. Are you with me? Not to just say some who call themselves disciples, young disciples, elder disciples, Ansar Allah. Okay? But anybody, anywhere, who was able to say, yo, I don't know who Faise One is. I don't know why he's here. Maybe I didn't listen to Bodie explain what all of this was. Okay, as someone who literally helped to create this being called Faise One or make way of it. And you haven't heard my Umi's voice, so you know what I mean? Some of y'all probably heard her voice, but you don't know what her information is or information is. Okay, that comes a time. All right, so you still in it. So when we say when in doubt, as a nation, we were taught this. When in doubt, do nothing. Be cautious. Be silent. Okay? Or circuit. Like the word circuit. We bring it back around to the circuit switching. You know what I'm saying? So if you were able to access the light of who Faise One was, you wouldn't go against him. Because that's who he is. That's what he's walking in. And then you're going to see more about what you thought was just this when that increases in frequency.
Come on.
And everybody who's been walking with me, they're going to finally access a level above that. But that's why it's been so long, which is so short, okay, that we've been dealing with this green light. You have to think back of how many things I presented to you where the focus was on green light. You got to really think back of how much I've been doing and how long it's been, which is short and fast, okay, or long walk on a short path, that we've been bringing it. And it's like, finally, the science of green light. Finally, it's time for you to science the green light. What does science mean? Etymologically, it means to know. All right, so I could talk. I could talk myself out of frame, okay? But now, those of you who've aligned yourself with that green light, you know what I've been saying now, because it's becoming a part of your essence. It ain't something that I've just been telling you about. It's becoming a part of you. You surrounded yourself with it. Some of y'all have not turned off that green light since I said on November 6th of 2023, Novum. What is Novum? The 9. When we put the 9 to that 6 in the 7 year, are you with me? Some of y'all have not turned off that light since I brought it forth. You with me? So you realize there's no reason to war with Faise One. There's a lot of people. Listen, there's a brother whose name is Rod. I'm not talking about Rod Hayes. Okay? There's a brother named Rod. I don't think many people would even know who he is. Okay? But he did a reaction video. Some of y'all saw it. I saw some of y'all see it because it was under the comments. You know what I'm saying? He did a reaction video. He was like, man, I didn't even know who Dr. York was. Okay? This is a young nigga. He said, I didn't even know who this was. I got to do more research. Right? He said, yo, so what do y'all think? He said, comment what y'all think. Y'all think it's 21 Savage, you know what I mean, who did it this way? Da, da, da. He said, or you with Faise? He said, I'm not going to lie. He said, I'm on Faise One side. He said, I feel like it's time. You listen to him, he sound like the average nigga riding around in the hood. But he was like, bro, he said, damn, I forgot nigga from the UK. I was reminding people about all these things, even down to ICE. You know what I mean? And when they came for 21 Savage, when he was speaking about the Flint water situation and all of that, all right, and out of nowhere they came for him. You with me? I even said it in the song. I said, I don't fuck with how they did you, but you know how to get, though. You with me? When you start using your position, listen, your platform to tell people what's actually going on, bring their mind to the light, as opposed to pushing more corruption, core rupturing, all right, rupturing their core, instead of reminding them of the light, okay, that's invested in the heart, okay? Saying what we have to take what you call Rasulullah, Muhammad's heart out and cleanse it and take out the opposition portion, the shaitan portion, the amber portion. Take away that red light, okay, so that the solar plexus was charging the green light as opposed to charging the amber light or the deceptive light or the false light. We took away shaitan's portion, then put it back, okay? Then he was able to go forth as the holy or one of the holies, okay? That's why we say complete or perfect for us our light. You, all right, the source, who is who? Who is who? All right, we should say who, H-U, okay, is dealing with the most ancient acknowledgement of the source. All right, the most ancient acknowledgement of the divine. Who? H-U, look it up. All right, that's who people had to get back in alignment with, and who had the power over all things, the omnipotent. And let me tell you something, we're not omnipotent. We're not omnipresent. We're not omniscience, science, which is omniscient. Okay? We don't know all things, omniscient. We're not present everywhere, omnipresent. All right? Not in this mortal being or this human being, because right now we're being human. All right? And we had to be reminded so that we might ascend in our degrees, okay, or in our grades, and become like the Malaika, or like El Masir, all right, or like Buddha. What does Buddha mean? Awake. Okay? And to this day, everybody talking about they way beyond religion and can't stop quoting Hinduism. They can't stop using the chakra word. They can't stop talking about the third eye. They can't stop talking about the meditation, transcendental meditation. You know what I mean? Even these things about from Buddha was black. That's going beyond religion, or is that doing what your father did? Which is to explain religion. Coming to give people, somebody here with me, what they want. So they would learn. So one, but y'all haven't gone anywhere. If you went somewhere, I wouldn't need to do what I was doing. You haven't gone anywhere because you forgot. You have lost your goddamn mind. You forgot who the master teacher is. Not was, is. To this very moment, you forgot that that is the master teacher. But these people come out of their mouth and say, I don't fuck with his teachings. Okay? But then, when they're in the presence of me, they try to act like they did, and I asked them questions about them, about those teachers, and they had no idea. Didn't even know the word Jesus meant, which was an embarrassment. I said, damn, you never even thought about the word itself? Are you talking about Jesus? No, Jesus? If you didn't think, so you only repeated. That means you couldn't have studied the word, Elias, or any of that. Because if you actually studied it, you would even know how to put that word together and say the J. You know what I'm saying? In that day and time, or Yeshua, whatever. Okay, Yeshu, Asa, but you didn't even know what it meant. You don't know Yeshu is dealing with salvation or to rescue or rescuer. You never knew that. And he didn't know. I said, damn, that's one of the easiest degrees. You know what I mean? But it becomes the most complicated when people are not humble enough, all right, to be able to receive. And they think that because they got the emulation down, okay, that they're actually being able to replicate the works. So that's why I called everybody forth. I said, okay, cool. I don't have no problem with you mentioning Dr. Ben. I don't have no problem with you mentioning Dr. Africa, any people. All right, but I want to go for the first time in this whole conversation. I want to go master for master. That's what I want to do. I want to go master for master, and I just want to see who among you will be able to provide to the people evidence that will show that that is not the master teacher of all time. You understand? And they wouldn't be able to do it. Okay? Even when they try to use it, they say, oh, he's plagiarizing, da, 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 da. Listen, then y'all are plagiarizing. You didn't come up with the word chakra. You understand? You didn't come up with the word third eye or the heart chakra, all right, Asna, the shooter. You didn't come up with these words. You didn't come up with the word spirit. You didn't come up with the word 5%. You didn't come up with supreme mathematics. You're plagiarizing. Because I ask you, what book did you write where you have new science and it's crickets? You short circuit. The word circuit means silence. All right, you come up short and you're quiet. You short circuit. You short circuit. Where's your books? You know what I mean? Listen, anybody who read my books know that as these books continue, you start saying, I never thought of that. I would have never even acknowledged or had active knowledge of Bakamir. I thought it was just Merkaba. I never thought about it backwards. You know what I mean? Yeah, I didn't realize they have side lens. Side lens means mind's eye. Side is to say the mind, and lens is to say something that you use to see. All right. And that side lens and Bakamir go hand in hand. Y'all reading these books, and I know y'all are reading these books and having an explosion, because I'm telling you, my right hand to the Most High. Okay, all truth. Okay, all truth. I had to do this to make sure it's clear. And they said, he's trying to hide his hand. Don't touch my heart. You know what I'm saying? All truth to the Most High. All right? I read my own books, and I say, how the fuck did I figure that out? You know what I mean? I read my own stuff back and say, wait a minute. I do not like them green eggs and ham. The eggs are the green ones, and it's Sam I am. Yeah, wait a minute. Yeah, ham, the lineage, eggs, green, origin. I put energy between you, the woman seed, and the serpent seed. Serpent poisons. Sama means to poison. That means Eve is the green one. Hawa. Sam don't like her. What the fuck, Pop? I promise you, that's just how that. He said what? He says it's the soul that guides the pen. Okay, then you can step forward and somebody come forward and say, yo, yeah, because we do not like them green eggs and ham. Is to say Samael and Eve is the green. You're plagiarizing me. You know what I mean? But I can't say you're plagiarizing because you come out here and speak about Nibiru. I can't say you're plagiarizing because you talk about a crossroad. All right? I can't say you plagiarizing because that's what they got to misconstrue. You know what I mean? But they won't give the fact that all of y'all are they're plagiarizing him. Saying what he said, copying what he said, using his words. All right, to the point we call it out. Now they don't want to use his word no more. They want to do a branch off of his word. It's no longer going to be overstand. We're just going to say understand and act like it never happened. Until somebody comes and say, no, that's not how that happened. I just read you right here in the Holy Tablets. What he said? Where you at? He said, for in me you will find understanding. Okay, it's right here in tablet 1, Malachi Zodak incarnated, chapter 19. Okay, if you want to go look it up. In me you will find or receive understanding. He said, you understand me, understand. Then they start making jokes, I understand. Well, who broke the code so the people weren't standing under? That was him. Okay, you're plagiarizing. RASHAD JAMAL plagiarized. That whole 9 ether, all of that's right here in the book. You know what I mean? And I ask people, please show me 9 ether before Dr. Malachi York. Because if it exists, I'm just asking you to show me when 9 ether was broken down in its entirety before Dr. Malachi York, which means you should be able to explain to me all of the neon, the xeon, you know what I mean? All of that. You should be able to break down the components, the 9.
That's beautiful.
I was like, damn, this is. So I started rapping about the 9. Everybody was posting that, including people like Night King. They were posting it. Nobody said, this is straight out of the Holy Tablets. KRS-One didn't even say, I know you got that from. That's Dr. York. That's Dr. York. He didn't even say that. Okay? So you got to stop all that plagiarizing shit. When you're dealing with someone who brought forth so much information in such a short period of time, okay, that for him to now, okay, so when he translated El Torah, all right, El Torah, when he translated El Quran, when he translated the Helios Gilnos, all right, and gave y'all these books, that's plagiarism? Or was he giving you the actual wording and say, take this word by word and deal with it word by word so you can no longer be confused or fused in with the cons, mixed up with the cons of the negative things or the deception. That's how Pop taught us to do. So the only motherfucker who could bring any type of resurrection in this day and time was somebody who grasped the science. If you know what right knowledge is. Now you're trying to read, and then y'all niggas fell backwards. How you go from the Wapo to 5%? You know what I mean? He thought you were saying something. You went from 1 in a 9 as a gold being all the way back down to supreme mathematics, Islam. And you don't know supreme mathematics is saying Islam, but you're saying all these people's recording that I'm not away from the Abrahamic religion, but you're still literally branching off and coming up under the Abrahamic religion of Islam. You know what I mean? You don't know what you're talking about. Pops will tell you, if you listen to your father, he will tell you, you have to do more work before stepping to people like us. I remember one of the sons asked me, I was 14 years old. Actually, no, I was 16, going on 17 years old. Okay? Because the video, 16-year-old Mason teaches class hidden knowledge. Nope. I was 19 or 20. Okay, guys, remember this. I think it was a 4-year span. Because they posted the video in 2014, so I think 2017. So I was like, yeah, 19, 18, going on 19. I was not 20. All right, so I was not 20, I promise. And I had a conversation with one of the sons, and everybody was talking about my video. He was hearing everybody talking about it. They were sharing it on Facebook. All right, had like 1 million something views on my page, 20 million on one of these other people's pages, 2 million on somebody else's page. Everybody was talking about this 16-year-old Mason walking around with this United Nuwapian Nation of Moors flag, all right, standing with an Oreo jacket with a tie around his neck and a white shirt. It was a different day, but I was shooting a music video, okay? So that's my shoot. And he's writing on his board, breaking all his science down. Everybody trying to figure out who this is. So he hit me up and said, I was actually in his studio. He's like, are you sharp? And I looked at him crazy. I'm like, what do you mean? He said, well, you know, people are going to come and try to test you. I said, what? Because my whole life, what are you talking about? I was the one who I dedicated my whole life, mystically devoted, spiritually devoted, physically devoted, mentally devoted to this walk. It shows. You know what I mean? So all we saying is, listen, you sided with the rest of these other organizations. That's your prerogative. Okay? All we asking is, did Malachi York not crack the whole code on the 5% of supreme mathematics, lessons, the 1 through the 20, the actual facts, all of that, the geography, you know what I mean? The population of the earth, who's the colored man, who's the original man, you know what I mean? What's the circumference of the planet? Okay, the student enrollment of it. Come on, dog. All right, did he not crack the whole code of the circle 7 Quran, all of that? All right, the building and the destroying of the 8 and all the other stuff that came with it, the refinement, the knowledge, the culture, the spirit, the cycle, that's old. And you're telling people that I can't let go of the Abrahamic religion, but you don't know what the fuck you're even a part of. Then he said, you don't know the politics. I said, yes, I do. I said, you're right, I don't deal with the politics. Okay, that's what you're saying, because Pop said don't. He said, don't deal with the politics, because poly means many, and ticks was to say tricks. You know what I mean? They have many tricks. Okay, so when people say many tricks is politics, that's Pops. When you hear people say realize, guess who did that? That's Pops. When you hear people say make it make sense, guess who did that? That's Pops. When you hear people say, no, people didn't know that. Make it make sense is Dr. York. You have to make it make sense. That's how I said it. Each one teach one, Dr. York. You know what I mean? So again, all of y'all are plagiarizing him. And nobody's holding it against you to say that because you're using the science to teach the science, all right? If I'm going to teach you 1 + 1 = 2, all right? That's how the fuck I'm going to teach it. So you're going to call me a plagiarist? You feel what I'm saying? Now, the Eddie Griffin coming forth and saying 1 + 1 = 3 because you got a space in the center. When I hear niggas say that, I say, you got it from Eddie Griffin. You know what I'm saying? But if Eddie Griffin would have said 1 + 1 = 2, all right, he's plagiarizing the first mathematicians of all time. Who figured that shit out? When they were dealing with the most basic counting systems of base 10. What was base 10, Faise? It's like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Basically 10. It really should be base 9. All right, but I guess the 10 will be a 0. Okay, we say 1 is 0, but still you have a repetition of 1. It should really be base 9. Let's correct that. But again, they're going to say base 10, so I don't want to confuse anybody. It's going to base 10. You're going to count to 10, which in all actuality, after you get to that 9, literally, numerically, all you're saying is 9 is the highest you can reach. So to add on another additional spot or position or place, okay, you're going to put this 1 and a 0 to say that you're starting a new line of counting. Okay, you got that, you got base 10, you got tally markings, all different ways we call the binary code system, which is that you really start with a 0, and then you go a 1, and then you go, 1, 0, then you go 11, then you go 1, 10. Okay, we say that after you get to 1, okay, in binary code, after you get to 1, then you stop. Okay, and start over with another 0 for another place. Okay, so the 1 is the height of the binary code or binary. All right, saying you don't go beyond the 1. And for the base 10, okay, the highest is 9. Again, I think that's confusing for people though, because really 9 should have been in that what is called the method of counting. Remember, we said let he who have understanding. They say understanding. Okay, they say here is wisdom. All right, let he who have understanding count the number of the beast. All right, they even explain what that number will be, Revelation chapter 13 and 18. This number will be a repetition of 6, 6, and 6, and 6. It says it was a number of a man, which means a number of a mortal, which means a number of an Enos, which means a number of an Insan, which means a number of an Insa, which means a number of Manasseh. Because Manasseh and Insa say the same thing. Go look it up. Which is Manasseh is life-based name. Manasseh means to forget, a forgetful one. Okay, and you niggas, y'all niggas lost y'all mind. You don't forgot. You must forgot. You must forgot. You did forget. Y'all lost y'all damn mind. Your mind has been condemned. You have to repent. You got to change your mind. You know what I mean? And because so many people have become shites and following after these forgetful ones, okay, y'all are letting them convince y'all that the one who stands alone is the problem, and it takes all of them to come together to fail in exposing me. Let's talk one more time. Listen, they're trying to. Okay, we finna go out of space. They lied to they dumbass. Here go Jesus, this is race. They lied to they dumbass. These phones, yeah, to activate. They lied to they dumbass. Holy weed, it's the ancestor way. Lied to they dumbass. Okay. Yeah, dumbass, dummy, dumbass. Yeah, dumbass, dummy, dumbass. Yeah, dumbass, dummy, dumbass. Yeah, dumbass, dummy, dumbass. Niggas fucking with me. I lie. Won't niggas smoking on tree. I lie. It's such thing 4D. I lie. The Pope do not work for the beast. I lie. Country rapper love G. I lie. Count up. I know. Don't give a shit. What they count out. Yeah, I'm finna whoops. For my whole ass. They gon' think I like do it for. Hey. Industry better toot it up. I'm finna pop like a 2 liter. When I fire that 2 liter like a fool, I am a true speaker at what I do. Okay, we finna go out of space. They lied to they dumbass. Here go Jesus, this is race. They lied to they dumbass. These phones, yeah, to activate. They lied to they dumbass.
Yeah, it gonna be on there, fam.
Lied to they dumbass. Dumbass.
May 11th.
Dumbass, dumbass.
Never.
Dumbass, dumbass. Dumbass. I lie. I lie. I lie. I lie. I lie. I lie. From the hood with the dirt, from the hood with the dirt, from the hood, from the hood, from the hood, from the hood with the gutter boy. Young niggas hitting drugs on a hoverboard. Beat stick go bitter like wormwood. He be geeking, so keep it away from him. He a glow man, rose out of concrete. Started like what she see, she want me, she on me. Like white on rice, told her ass I don't bite, but she say I give player. Wow, player. That what I do? Player. You are something else. Player. Wow, player. I never would've knew. Player. News to myself. Player. He don't trip on me, missy. Peanut butter roof mouth, drip sticky. Beetlejuice star man, sheep scrub. Player. Smooth hair, pinky man, teacup. Benny corner swinging merch out the wing truck. Asteroid belt holding my jeans up. Player. Come here, let me slide this in your purse. Yeah, I'm the flyest nigga on this earth. Yeah, just how fly is he? Not the bird. This ain't church. Yeah, hanging out the window screaming church. Young niggas hitting drugs on a hoverboard. Beat stick go bitter like wormwood. He be geeking, so keep it away from him. He a grown man, rose out of concrete. Started like what she see, she want me, she on me. Like white on rice, told her ass I don't bite, but she say I give player. Wow, player. That what I do? Player. You are something else. Player. Wow, player. I never would've knew. Player. It's news to myself. Player. So many people, yo, bitch ass. You really got me big fast. Niggas doing all that podcast. I'm at your chest, dog tag. We don't do stick talk, fake, can't law that. We hit your party, ask you where the bras at. Clear the premises to them, but we ball that. Situation, you in the deep. All you hear is shot, we ain't 70. Brody on the 30-day fast, he tweaking. He can hear the Wi-Fi next door, blink. Street shit dead in the bed. They don't wanna say it, I'll say it. All the real nigga went fed. And that's a real nigga, I ain't fake. I could never relate to no snake. Ew, catch it, I got a confession. My
Ushers open doors.
Kick it and stepping that weapon redundant. They gon' get the message. Never would've made it if I ain't let you. Bless you, tacky, I imagine one.
Come on.
All my niggas flat for fun.
Hey.
Muddy water tap is fine. Here's all that cat they doing. Cheers, Sluggy, man. They label me a rapper, could never play with me. I put that on free band. Slap boxing with a nigga with 3 hands. Niggas in the days, too like the weekend shirt. You got some money, I got some brains. Let's play big tank.
Hey.
You got some honeys, I got some change. Let's play fish spray big face. Motion don't stop cause a bitch man angry. Don't make me block your bitch ass. They really dealt with me big fast. Niggas doing all that podcast. I'm at your chest, dog tag. Don't do stick talk, fake, can't law that. We hit your party, ask you where the bras at. Clear the premises to them before we blow that.
Niggas on the pavement, go get them.
That shit in the air, they never knew it hit them. Who the fuck Tyler this here trying to kick me? Go get your daddy, ho.
This ain't Bashir.
100 round came with a kangaroo jet.
That's a kickback.
Yeah. So they call death out the motherfucking stats. That's a spit chest. Yeah, the genre is comedy.
When niggas be taunting me.
Bitch, I am big, not the Romney. Hit with that jeopardy. Bitch, you can't stomach me. And I will not give a shit how ironically. Somebody
humble me. Kendrick Lamar couldn't do it. I ain't to the sister that song release. You ain't never gonna meet nobody who got number feet. Look at my toes and see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Make your whole body lift and shake. They think you know how to levitate. I know so much shit. If I tell you that your Gotti had a break, I can teach you Billy Goat how to separate his body from his spirit. The forever way. Several hexes a day, keep the threats away. A single beat with my people be there to play. Run it back. Motion don't stop cause a bitch man angry. Don't make me black on your bitch ass. Yeah. It really dealt with me big fast. Niggas doing all that podcast. Who's the cat? I'm at your chest, dog tag. Won't do stick talk, fat can't law that. We hit your party, ask you where the bras at. Clear the premises of them for we blah that.
I do not judge them. Them niggas nervous, praying to God they don't get drawn with them. Take their whole industry and put their ass on trial. Now, we don't cry when devils go down, we smile. Nah, fuck Hollywood. Fuck them, burn their ass alive.
You can run, but you can't hide for Hollywood. Fuck them, burn their ass alive, yeah. You can run, but you can't hide. They gon' try. The military snatching niggas out they mansion, huh? Bag on their head, you can die, get your mans up. New challenge, every celebrity, stand up. Do me a favor, go on and pull your pants legs up, observe. Most of them on house arrest, the rest they getting purged. Homeland Security at they door, they getting served. 1,000 bottles ain't the only finding of they search. Why did Diddy post a tunnel? Cause it's what's under the surface. I know a certain business where they call him me and daddy. No disrespect to Cassie, but the media blasting Cassie. That shit that happened to Cassie was bassy, that's a tragedy. It's still a matter of fact that they passing on the trafficking.
They don't want to talk about it.
They don't want to get themselves away
Cause they was at them parties.
It ain't even the parties where all of that shit
Be happening hardly.
It's just the party shit these niggas been distracting y'all with. Hey, 60,000 missing black women 2019.
Hey,
laptop from Hades, they distracted you with Epstein. If you seen a list of some shit that they wanted seen. But they'll just call it a conspiracy, then wipe the whole thing.
Watch out for any nigga talking about do not judge Diddy.
Them niggas nervous, praying to God.
They don't get drugged with them. The whole industry on trial.
Now, we don't cry when
devils go down, we smile.
Yeah,
fuck Hollywood. Fuck them, burn their ass alive. You can run, but you can't hide. Fuck Hollywood. Fuck them, burn their ass alive. You can run, but you can't hide. Yeah. What do you say? Hold on, I ain't hear him.
Fuck Hollywood. Fuck them,
Burn their ass alive. Hey, you can run, but you can't hide. Fuck Hollywood. Fuck them, burn their ass alive. You can run, but you can't hide. Hey. Talk to him.
I know a couple niggas ain't the bottom, they only friend. I know a couple women
who surviving off OnlyFans. So God so loved the world, only begotten son. Hold on, they forgot one. They forgot one. Hold on, they forgot one.
When I fill out the wound around the room,
you're like, what have I done? You're like, what have I done? When I fill out the wound around the room, you're like, what have I done? Hold me down. Show me how. I'm a, hey. They don't know me now. Who want to be chosen? They wouldn't change mine with me. You don't know how I feel to watch the night fall while you crying and weeping in the middle of the street while everybody's sleeping. I don't know why they hate how I shine. I'm not infallible, just made it out in time. Purple water, I know how to make it out of wine. Leave a snake without a smile, leave this place behind without a sign. I know a couple niggas ain't about it, they only friends. I know a couple women who surviving off OnlyFans. For God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son. Hold on, they forgot one. Hold on, they forgot one. You're like, what have I done? You're like, what have I done? When I fill out the womb around the room, you're like, what have I done? Test me, hold me down, bless me, show me how. Test me, hold me down. When I fill out the womb around the room, you're like, what have I done? Come on. Okay. I told her, tell me what's the symptoms. Wanted at a degree. Come on. Uh-huh. The fringes are blue, so I'll share it with you. sit right with me, so it came up again. She threatened my life with a sort of silence. Come on. Like, what have you done? Started to run. Not before I told her what I know. You'll never meet me again. You'll never meet me twice. You'll never meet me again. You'll never meet me twice. I told her what I know. You'll never meet me again. You'll never see me twice. You'll never meet me again. You'll never see me twice. I built me a temple and started anew. I changed my identity. Then I met you. Listen. She found me from friends that I thought were my crew. They traded me in for a bucket of loot. In the night, there's been a breach. The siren said to me, be cautious. She burst in my quarters like, what have you done? I grabbed what I could and I started to run. Not before I told her what I know. You'll never meet me again. You'll never meet me twice. You'll never meet me again. You'll never meet me twice. I told her what I know. You'll never meet me again. You'll never see me twice. You'll never meet me again. You'll never see me twice. I ain't had shit, but I did it without it. Talk to him. Ride single player on. Fuck with you niggas. Yeah, try to walk me down, lost their legs. Who else trying to get amputated about some what? These pussy niggas scared. I'm fucking with they brain. Come on. Every party ain't nobody said name. Damn. What? Keep it out of whisper. Shit. Fuck what niggas talking about. Blow their ears out. Fuck what niggas talking about. Blow their ears out. Fuck what niggas talking about. Blow their ears out. I know niggas snakes, but I'm cutting the grass. Cutting the grass? You can see my whole foot in their ass. Bum. Niggas looking tired, I'ma put them in there. Hey, what they talking about? They ain't slime me. My booger's still intact, yeah. Wipe them out, splash. Talking about chat. Consonant, chat. I ain't had shit, but I did it without. Single player on. Fuck with you, bum. Who else trying to get amputated by some bread? These pussy niggas scared. I'm fucking with they brain. Come on. Every party ain't nobody said names. What? We know that boy thinks you can keep it at a whisper. Shit. Fuck what niggas talking about. Blow their ears out. Oh, Lord. Keep it at a whisper. Shit. Fuck what niggas talking about. Blow their ears out. What? Keep it at a whisper. Shit. Fuck what niggas talking about. Blow their ears out. I can't believe I'm here again. I can't believe I'm here again. Hey. I can't believe I'm here again. My niggas is so new, man. I'm back, but they stole my goddamn land. Twinkling, looking for my guy. Turn up. Like moving water. Yeah, I'm hotter, Robbie hotter. We got arcades. Arcades in the building. So I can't be pumping out for me. They nigga go. Be me, I'm out of this world. Open that land, let's need that pearl. Open up, Bible and read the word. Every day I just wanna learn. Every day I just wanna be myself. See my past traumas down the well. Yeah. Stay on my purpose and stay out of jail. I see these demons want me in that cell. Hey. You catch some spells, you know they block. And to speak through me, they talk. I didn't get here out of luck. I got here by staying on purpose. I'm just staying right on my journey. Fire inside me really burn. I'm too protected, I ain't worried. I'm not your leader, get your own. I'm out of space, phone home. When it's flat, it's not a glow. It's not a glow, it's not a glow. Get in this shit, let's see it again. It's where let's get, but the next one better. Let's see what we can endeavor. Hey, what's now? I can't believe I'm here again. I'm back, but they stole my goddamn land. Twinkling, looking for my guy. Feeling it just like moving water. Yeah, I'm hotter, Robbie hotter. Manifest, make my brain grow taller. Protecting my energy, do not bother. Plenty seeds and watch them grow. I'm more time and I'm not slow. I so be rich, so I can't be poor. Out for me, they nigga go. Beat me up, I'm out of this world. Open that claim, let's need that pearl. Open up, Bible and read the word. Every day I just wanna learn. Every day I just wanna be myself. See my past, trauma down in the well. Stay on my purpose and stay out of jail. I see these demons want me in that cell. Can you back up on my aura? Things management. Greatest ever told, you know this story. Here I am again. Me in the flesh is never
side. Maybe dapper, not just anybody. It's the hand of God. Take your shoes out before you come into my crib. I can show everybody how to live. Do you recognize me? I'm that ringing in your ear. Don't you ever lie to me. You only injuring your spirit. I know who you are. Before you speak a word to me, I hear. I've seen you around. What you doing on this side of the galaxy? You not from here. I don't know what you did to get this sentence, but I'm in it with you. Let me update you on Club Chosen. You ain't been in a few. You in the loop, that's the point. Reincarnated, but where's you going? I've been on the way back since I was born. On top of the mountain, they gave me a horn. They gave me a trumpet. They gave me a drum. They gave me a note. I held it. Oh, and I'm still holding. I can't believe I'm here again. And I'm still holding on. They stole my goddamn land. Twinkling, looking for my God.
Come on.
Just like moving water. Yeah, I'm hotter, Robbie hotter. Manifest make my brain grow taller. Protecting my energy, do not bother. Play these seeds and watch them grow. I'm on God time and I'm not slow. I so be rich, so I can't be poor. If you're not for me, then you go. Beat me up, I'm out of this world. When I plan, I see that pearl. Open up, I and read the word. Every day I just wanna learn.
Wanna learn.
Every day I just wanna be myself. Be myself. See my past, trauma down in the well. Down in the well. Stay on my purpose and stay out of jail. I swear these demons want me in that cell. She like her average pretty girl. No question, got it going on strong. She give me that and
She wanna team up with me. Everybody. Move with me. Hey.
keep me surprised. The eyes on the prize. Oh no,
On go. On go. On go. On go. Average pretty girl. She like, whatever, just get my money. Hey. They tryna ride your way. Tryna ride your way. Where so well. So you want op 2 shit? Hey. Extra line. Choosing me, girl. No question, got it going on strong. Yes, sir. She give me cat and treat me. She wanna team up with me. Hands in all three, everybody. Hey, I'm in the mood. Keep me surprised. The eyes on the prize. On go, on go, on go. She like your average pretty girl, yeah. Hey, on go, on go. It's hard. Making out right. She wanna team up with me. Hands in on three, everybody. Eyes on the prize.
Yo, flow so cold, no dilemma. Roses grow in December. Chosen glow, not the ember. Soul to soul, once again I
Told you so.
I remember
Twin, flame.
Focus, flow, survival when the roses grow in December.
Talk to him. Pipe up.
December, it came with a memory partner. Don't doubt it, we made us a finishing product. I'm proud of the way that we
Went about it. I'm just like you, must not know you dealing with no. I ain't finna argue with you. Yeah. Your mind is not up for discussion. I think we're crazy. Hold on. Went about it. I'm just like you, must not know you dealing with no. I ain't finna argue with you. Yeah. Your mind is not up for discussion. Just the one for you. And not the 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. Since the day that I laid eyes on you, I needed you in my. What are you about to say? Life. Flow so cold. Stop fucking playing with it, man. Where my horn at? Hold on, can I get a horn? Okay. I just want to talk about how that shit just dropped like that. Hold on. I just want to talk about it real quick. Can we have a conversation? Can we talk? I want to talk about how it came in, like how that shit should have dropped, how you just went right into it. Can I talk to you? That boy say flow so cold. It deserve another horn. The fuck? Flank, yeah. Seamless. Roses grow. I need you in my life. Girl, you know the time right. Time supreme. Roses grow in December. Oh, man, Keyjo, I wish I would have been thinking, bro. I would have put your ass on it. I would have put you on the album, bro. I'm gonna put you on that one. Flank, yeah. Roses grow. I need you in my life. Girl, you know the time right. Supreme. Roses grow.
Okay, flies from the mother plane. I was outside making pies out of muddy rain. I ain't even had 24 to tank. Now I'm in a big body booger and I'm cutting lane.
Now I'm in it,
got it,
and we cut a lane. I've been in the field with the keyboard, cut a lane. Teach me how to love a game. Blessed with this shit here, bro. Who the fuck is it, man? Hold on. What the fuck?
Okay.
Vibes from the mother plane.
I was outside making pies out of muddy rain. I ain't even had 24 to tank. Now I'm in a
Big body
booger and I'm cutting lane.
Now I'm in a
got it, and we
cut a lane. Other name. I've been in the field with the keyboard, cut a lane. What about to say? Teach me how to. Am I? That I'm blessed. I'm from another plane. Y'all ain't listening, man. Just throwing shit in there like in between the bars. He dropping science. I'm from another plane. You ain't even listening. You ain't even listening. Be quiet. Hey.
Okay. Flies from the mother plane. I was outside making pies out of muddy rain. I remember I ain't even had 24 to tank. Now I'm in a big body booger and I'm cutting lane. Down with it, got it, and we cutting lane.
Hold on, y'all didn't hear that. But did you hear that sound? Do you see how seamless it is to this man? Can I talk to you? That boy say, what? Yo. You ain't hear him. It ain't yo. He ain't say yo. That's normal. He said, yo. It like that didn't even exist before I did it. Now it exists here and you ain't thanking me. I gave you the pentacorks, basically. I just took the tetracorks and like, bro, you don't need. I'm like, yeah, I just did what the fuck CERN did. The hell? Before they what? And now I just gave you yo. It ain't never exist. Ain't nobody ever said that shit, and now it exists here. That was it. Now with it, got it, yo. What? And you let it slide because like you didn't even notice that it was different, did it? Because that's how seamless. What?
Okay, guys from the mother plane. I was outside making pies.
What you talking about?
I ain't even had 24 to take. Now I'm in a big body booger and I'm cutting lane down with a
That boy say now he in a big body booger. Cutting lanes. What? You ain't hearing this, man. One more time, boy. One more time.
Okay, flies from the mother plane. I was outside making pies out of muddy rain. I remember I ain't even had 24 to take. Now I'm in a big body booger and I'm cutting lane down with a E. Got it, and we cutting lane. They running shit, government just like the other name. They running shit, what you know about that gutter game? I've been in the field with the keyboard, cutting lane. Teach me how to love again. Starting in my trap, down,
Black. I'm from another plane. I'm not flat. Since my essence.
It's a butter thing. Everybody in my club eating just like Charlamagne. What you hear knocking on your speaker? This another banger.
After that, another banger. From the other angle, this the real fucky finger. Well, what the hell? That man say paparazzi watch. I'm out the window with the fucky finger. No, this ain't the two fingers up from the other angle. This the real fucky finger. But what's wrong with this, man? What the fuck? What the fuck? Man, did y'all not, bro, did y'all not see that meme where the nigga was trying to put up the peace sign and they were like, oh, you got to look at it from a different angle because you see it from another angle, it look like he's shooting a bird, right? I say, nah, paparazzi watch. I'm out the window with the fucky finger. I said, no, this ain't the two fingers up from the other angle. This the real fucking thing. No matter where you looking at it from, it's the real. Boy, something is like clinically. It's clinical.
Everybody in my club eating just like Charlamagne. What you hear knocking on your speaker? This another banger. After that, another and another and another banger. Paparazzi watching out the window with the fucking finger. Notice not the two fingers up from the other angle. This the real fucking finger. Diamonds on me, tussle lane. I remember I ain't even had 20 for the time.
Let's say diamonds on me, tussling. This nigga Ryan tussling with the other finger or with the fucking finger. Nigga said diamonds on me, tussling. What? The hell then reminded you that you remember. I remember. I ain't even had 24 to. You gotta hear this shit one more time. Hold the fuck up with my horn. What the fuck?
Okay, flies from the mother plane. I was outside making pies out of muddy rain. I remember I ain't even had 24 to take. Now I'm in a big body booger and I'm cutting lane. Down with a E, got it, and we cutting lane. They running shit, government
Just like the other name.
They running shit, what you know about that gutter game? I've been in the field
With the keyboard, Hutter Lane. Man, I ain't gonna hold you. The red is shine, bro. Oh my God. He supposed to be getting on this song. I wasn't supposed to tell y'all. He supposed to be getting on this song, bro. I really want this man to get on this song before I drop the album. But I don't know if he's gonna be able to get it done before then. We might have to just do the remix. But that shit'll be so damn gangster. That'll be so, bro, that'll be so gangster that man get on this song. Cause like this probably the biggest song off the album. But I would love to have that man get on this song, bro. I fuck with the rest. That shit would be gangster as hell. Like, I know some people, it process might be different. They got other things to deal with. And, I really want that man to get on this song, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. We might gotta put some shit together to expedite that. So if you see me do that, that's what I'm saying. I want that shit to happen, reality. We might put some shit together. I know, you know what I mean? We're just like collaborating, but like, we might have to put some shit together to expedite that. So I'm saying, I really want bro to get on this song. You know what I mean? They taking bro through what they taking bro through on the spiritual level too. You know what I'm saying? But man, that should be hard as hell for him to be able to get on that. I don't want to say that. Like, I just got happy thinking about this shit. Like, bro can get on this song before we even drop. But that should be amazing. If we got to do the remix, we'll do the remix. But like, I see him being on the song. He got shit to say.